When it comes to your home, you shouldn't have to roll the dice with a small contractor or pay the high prices of a giant one. At Lemus Remodeling Group, a family-owned company, you get the perfect balance. Expert exterior remodeling from a team that's nationally recognized and neighborhood trusted. From roofing and siding to windows, doors, and gutters, the Lemus team delivers quality work, honest pricing, and a home that feels brand new. Call 610-GO-LEMUS to schedule your free consultation today or visit their website at golemus.com. Lemus Remodeling Group. Trust Lemus for a lifetime.
The June heat is here and Philadelphia humidity is officially on the rise. Don't wait for the AC to start working overtime to realize the windows are failing. Call Window Nation now. During the June sale, buy 4 windows and get 4 free. That's right. Upgrade the entire house and get half of those windows absolutely free. Plus, get started with 0 down and no payments or interest for 2 full years. The experts at Window Nation provide a weather-tight seal in just 1 day or less. Beat the heat and save big on those utility bills. Schedule your fast, free consultation today at windownation.com.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, Liberty, Liberty.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Hi, I'm Connie Urkel, and I'm here with my husband, Guy. We're excited to be here and tell you our great success with Crash Proof.
It feels great knowing that I hear other people talking about, oh, the market's going down, I lost this much money, and they're all fretting over it, and we don't have that fret at all. We are very comfortable knowing that the interest that we've made, we're not going to lose it. It's just going to compound and create more money as we move forward.
This year, one of our vehicles brought in over 18%, and they weren't charging us fees to do this. Even when the market crashes or goes down, we're not anxious about what is going on around us politically and globally.
I encourage you to get involved, give them a call, and set up a meeting. Not that I want to wish my life away, but I'm looking forward to next March to see how much more money we made.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on Wednesday, July 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Outside 25th District Headquarters, members of the Philadelphia Police Department alongside the family of Jamie Roman gathered to dedicate a memorial plaque for one of their own killed in the line of duty.
What we're trying to do is memorialize them, to keep their legacy alive, to make people understand who they are.
On September 10th, 2024, Roman died from a gunshot wound he sustained during a traffic stop. It happened in Kensington in June. The 31-year-old left behind a wife, a 7-year-old daughter, and a 4-year-old son who bears his name.
It's been very hard, but it means a lot that he continues to get recognized and they continue to keep his name alive.
Roman's widow, Jasmine Hernandez, says her husband, who was posthumously promoted to sergeant, always dreamed of becoming an officer.
He cared about his community. He wasn't an officer just for a paycheck. He actually wanted to make a difference.
Hernandez also says the past year has tested her faith, but that she remains grateful.
I've received a lot of support from the community, from the police department, from the FOP Lodge 5, from the other survivors' families. We've been very close-knit, and they're the reason I've been getting by.
So one of the reasons that we talk about We Ride with Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation, if you're looking for some inspiration or how it all works, we thought we would talk to Jasmine Hernandez, who is the widow of Jamie Roman. Somebody will take you beyond the headlines, and you'll be seeing stories about him as far as what goes on and how it works. Because sometimes in the headlines, you'll see that 6 ABC story, the NBC 10 story, or us talking about something happening. And then there are people behind the badge that get forgotten. And I think that's so important to think about a family who is, also paying a sacrifice, if you will. And so that's why we just wanted to get a sense of how it all works and what it means when you support the families behind the badge, literally, not just figuratively. So whether or not you want to donate, whether you want to ride with us in the bike ride, but just wanted to talk to Jasmine. Jasmine, it's so good to have you. Thank you for being here today.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing great, actually, now that I'm talking to you. And that's just it. And I'm sure you relate to what I'm talking about, that I imagine in the beginning, it's obviously tragic. It's surreal.
Yes.
And over the years, just can you take us through how, for you, coping with what you and your family, what you've had to cope with. And then when you learn about the Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation and how it has touched your life.
So my husband was Philadelphia police officer Jamie Roman. He was shot in the line of duty exactly 2 years ago, June of 2024. He was in a hospital on life support for 2 months. And shortly after the incident, maybe not even 2 days later, Mark and Jack came over to my house from Families Behind the Badge. They told me who they were and what the foundation does. And, it was so nice to see that people are there right away, people you don't even know personally. Yeah. And they just come out and support us. And it means so much to have that community and that support. They held a light for me on my darkest days.
And so for Sergeant Roman, your husband, and I know he's been honored, the city honors his life and thanks him for protecting and serving, shot during that traffic stop in Kensington. And like you say, it falls behind the headlines in many ways, because they'll report it that day, an officer shot in the line of duty. This should have been a routine traffic stop. But then there's a whole family, and you're left beside his hospital bed and then coping, praying obviously for him to survive everything you have to go through. Just a couple of things, what it means to you when people, even right now, as I'm talking, right as you and I are talking right now, people could be going to that site, looking it up, and then donating. What does that mean to you, even to this day, 2 years later?
So, the foundation as a whole, everything they do, all the support they provide, not only for myself and my husband, but for all of us families, they always bring us together. I've grown to meet a lot of the ladies who are going through the same tragedy I am. We've built bonds, and, they just bring this bigger family around you all the time and just uplifts you and support you. And the ride itself is just so personal to me because it brings us all together, and it's just so powerful. It's very moving to see everyone come out for the cause and just ride. And, it's not easy for me. I'm not a conditioned rider or anything, but I go out there and I push, and I just remember my husband and what I'm doing it for. So it's really great to get out there, and the support, for all the families, it's moving.
And for you, you've just looking at some of these stories, you talk, Jasmine, about your husband, a heart of gold. What would you want people to know about him besides the fact of what's been covered? 25th District law enforcement officer, and your love and tribute to him.
I want everyone to always remember that Jamie wasn't only a police officer. He was a father. He has 2 children. He was a husband, a son, and a friend. I just want to make sure his name is always heard and he's always remembered and never forgotten. I want my son to grow up and see the impact and the legacy his father left behind.
And for your son, Jamie Jr., how is he doing?
He's okay. He misses his dad. He talks about his dad every night still. That kid remembers everything. He likes to look at pictures, and that's really hard for me.
And he was 4, and so 2 kids.
Yeah.
So how old are they now? So he's now what, in first grade?
Jamie is now, he just graduated kindergarten. He's 6. So he'll be going to first grade in September, and Evelina is 8. She'll be 9 in August.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Great ages. And so for your kids now, how does that work? Because it's, the ride, that we do, it's 65 miles. And so for the kids, are they there in Atlantic City? Are they with family? Do they, are they excited for mom to be riding in this?
So last year was my first ride. I didn't know what to expect, so I kept him home with my mom. This year, I know what to expect. I'm coming more prepared. I'm ready. Our team is in great shape, so I will have Jamie there at the end. He has his little jersey. Yeah, so he'll be there. Jamie will be there at the after party in Atlantic City, and he made his little sign, so he's excited.
I mean, and that's just it. Obviously, it's tragic. You're trying to cope with all of this. Does being involved with Families Behind the Badge, just some of I know there are a ton of events. Some are public. Some are just with you and other family members. What does that do to lift you up at probably your darkest moment?
I feel like it's been, Families Behind the Badge has definitely been part of my healing journey. Like I said, they bring us around other ladies, the other widows. I hate the word widow.
I know.
But they bring us together, and survivors, yeah. And it just reminds you that you're not in it alone, and that people are there for you, and there's people who are also going through the same tragedy, and it brings more comfort, and is definitely helping in my healing journey. The ride is also a part of my healing journey, and I look forward to riding for years to come.
And so for law enforcement, we've also seen this, I guess, when you talk about a journey, we've seen law enforcement over the years as heroes, as celebrated careers. Then we went through a period of kind of a darker period in America where we talked about law enforcement in negative ways. I think we're coming out of that now, but I just wondered if you could address that, what you would want people to know about a law enforcement career.
I always say, like you said, there's a negative connotation, to policing and things like that, but there's always so much more support as well. There's also a big amount of people in a big community who do support the police. And so that brings me comfort.
Yeah, and so many over the years, I think of Judy Cassidy over the years, or Maureen or Marissa, and they always tell me every year, this is a club that you never want to be, that you're glad you can be part of it, but on the other hand, it's something that you never would want to be part of. Can you talk about that, that connection with me?
Me, Marissa, Stephanie, Alex, we always tell each other, like, we wish we never met. Basically, we love each other dearly, but we just wish this wasn't our case. But again, I love the ladies, and they've always been there to support each other. And, I'm thankful for them to have them, and I'm thankful for the families to connect us.
Is it personal for you when you think about people donating? Some people cannot ride, because of, and by the way, we have people from across the country now because we're streaming. Yeah. So that's kind of neat too, that we have people from all over the country, and they're just like, oh, I can go to a website. I can support these families. Yeah. Maybe they're originally from Philadelphia, or there's a connection. What would you say directly to those individuals who feel like, hey, I want to support you and your, like you said, your healing journey?
Yeah, I want to let them know that every dollar counts. The funds raised truly make a difference in our families, and, that are going through this unimaginable loss. It really does make a difference, and we see it and we appreciate it. So, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been donating and supporting the cause.
Yeah, and for you, as far as, the other officers going, it's a great way to just, I think, feel supported. Whether it's, like you said, Mark O'Connor, I know that you have other events, but for that moment, that was your first year last year. What was that like to see this, sea of supporters? A lot of them are cops, law enforcement, but certainly not all.
Right. This was all new to me. Before the tragedy, before losing my husband, I didn't know too much of, Families Behind the Badge or any of these events that we have. So this is all like, wow, it's very amazing to see. that we have that support out there, that people do stand even, years later, and that our fallen officers, not only our fallen officers, but all injured and fallen first responders are always going to be remembered, and the families are always going to be supported. So it means a lot to me, more than I can say, more than words can ever say.
Yeah, and I always tell people that, whether they want to volunteer, whether they want to go on there and donate something recurring, whether they want to ride in the bicycle ride for a multitude of reasons. I know some single women who are riding because they want to meet nice guys. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, it's amazing the groups of people, all different motivations coming together. But to me, it's a beautiful thing. I love meeting you, and I look forward to seeing you in person. What would you want people to know about your husband? And I know he's looking down on you. He's looking down on your children and our community. What would you want people to know?
I want people to know that Jamie dedicated his life to his community. He served the community he grew up in, and he was very, he was all about policing. He loved his job. He loved what he did. And this ride is a way to continue honoring him. And if anyone that's listening would like to donate, they can please consider donating to Team Roman on the Benton Shore website. And it's a great cause. It's a great event. It's the event of the year.
For you. And it's Team Roman. So so how many people are riding with you? Do you have a count as far as on Team Roman?
So the last time I checked, I believe it's 28 of us, which I'm very proud of, because this is our first year having Team Roman. Last year I did ride, but we didn't have our specific team for Jamie. But this year we have our team, we have our jerseys, and we're looking like, good so far. So I'm excited. And if they want to join, they can also join. There's different options. They don't have to do the full 65 miles. There's support vehicles, everything you need to get through it. You can do 15 miles, 30 miles, 65 miles, you decide.
Are you surprised at anything about yourself? There's that song, and there are all these stupid sayings that, oh, God doesn't give us anything we can't handle, or, these stupid cliche things.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you've heard them all and gotten every stupid card, when in fact it's like, you shouldn't have had to go through this, obviously. And I'm so sorry that you have. But I imagine there are parts of this journey, like you call it, your healing journey, that you've even surprised yourself.
Yes. Sometimes I tell myself, I know I'm not functioning off of my own strength. There's no way that I'm getting myself through this alone. I know there's a God, and I know he's been pushing me through. I know Jamie is looking over us and taking care of us. When I go out there and ride, like I said, I'm not a conditioned rider, but I push. It's great to get out there and be active and do something good with, Jamie in mind. And every pedal, every push, I'm just thinking of Jamie and pushing to that finish line. And I know he's so proud. I know he is proud, because this is not like me. You would have never imagined Jasmine riding 65 miles from Philly to Atlantic City. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I also tell people, Jasmine, that even this is the first time my sons are riding, teenagers, and they're like, my one son he works out all the time, but my other son is like, I don't want to be embarrassed. I said, there are all these stop points. Don't worry about it.
Right.
People in cars kind of following along. So whatever that is, even if you set out, something happens, it's all good.
Yeah, I have my brother joining this year. My sisters did it with me last year.
They did?
It's challenging. I mean, we're not riders, but especially the bridge, but we're going to get through. And so I remind them, just go out there and do what you can. I think for me, most importantly, I just want to have fun and spend time with my loved ones, my family, my husband's co-workers, they're my family, and just make memories, have fun, do what you can. Don't get too caught up on whether I can ride or not, or, just do what you can and have fun.
Well, Jasmine, I know this isn't easy, and so thank you. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Coming up in July, we'll talk more about it. Thank you, Jasmine. You're beautiful.
Thank you. I just want to say one last thing. For everyone who's listening again, if you want to visit Benton Shore and search Team Roman and donate, every donation, no matter what the amount, big or small, it makes a difference. And thank you for having me. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Jasmine. You're beautiful.
Thank
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So we'll talk more about it. The Dawn Show continues right after this. 855-839-1210. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. Be right back.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
Babbel proudly presents The Bookstore Bungle.
Librairie means library in French, right?
Yeah, obviously.
I just love a library.
The French are so loud, though.
Yeah. Hey, be quiet. This is a library. S'il vous plaît.
Ce n'est pas une bibliothèque.
Bibliothèque? I think that's Spanish, ma'am.
You are in a bookstore, not a library.
Oh. No more bookstore bungles with Babbel.
Touriste.
Learn to speak like a local and act like one too. Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to get up to 50% off. Babbel.com.
When it comes to avoiding roofing problems this summer, go with the real deal. Impriano Roofing, Siding, Windows, and Doors. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. One of the only roofing companies still run by the original family. They're the experts in the industry, no comparison. And Jack Impriano stands behind every job 100%. Experience, integrity, that's the real deal. Call 610-644-4444 for your free estimate today. The best homes have an Impriano roof.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Free speech lives here with Kale and Company weekday mornings on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
Edge Children's Foundation, my longtime friend, Mark O'Connor. Yeah, Mark was just asking me about the training with my sons, Michael and David. They're doing it this year. I don't know if I told you that, Mark. So
yes,
we're
yes,
training
and
together.
You along with them, right?
Yeah. So the deal is that it's going okay. I just want to I'm looking for a better seat. That's my only complaint about bicycle seats. Could we please make them a little more comfortable? Like, is it part of the torture? Like, there's got to be something designed differently. That's my only complaint. with the bicycles.
Well, I have a quick funny story. Quick funny story about that, if you'd like.
Yeah.
Our mutual friend Maureen Faulkner, she came in one year for the ride, and we had rented her bikes, and said she wanted to take it out for a spin. She comes back. She says, "Oh, that hurts my butt. Oh, what am I going to do?" And there's a bike sitting there, and she says, "Whose bike's that?" And I said, "Oh, it's Chief Timony's bike. It was John Timony's bicycle." Well, she looks at it. When I wasn't looking, he had a gel seat on top. She stole his seat. So he's complaining. He and I would ride together. The whole ride, he's complaining, "My butt's killing me. My whats are hurting." And we get to Atlantic City, and we're, he's having a few beers, and Maureen comes over. "I have a confession, Commissioner." He said, "What's that?" She said, "I stole your seat." He said, "You bitch. I can't believe you did that. You owe me a massage," he said to her. It was really funny. It was very, very funny.
That is awesome. That Marine, that's a smart idea. Just switch with somebody, because who's going to think of that? Especially if you're the police commissioner. Like, you're thinking, not for nothing, but who's going to steal my bicycle seat? That is too funny.
Right.
I love it. Yeah, and they even make the gel covers. That's why I was looking at them. So I'm thinking about it. Like, they even over
They make a big difference.
Yeah. So every little bit counts. So you were telling me before that there are, a ton of different teams, maybe 24 serious, but the majority of people who ride are not necessarily a quote unquote like professional bicycle road runner, whatever you want to say, road warrior. Most people just ride for the camaraderie, the fundraising aspect. And so that to me makes it less intimidating. Am I right?
100%. 100%. Most people ride for the cause.
Yeah.
Some people dust their bike off from the year before, put air in the tires and ride again. They believe in the mission of Families Behind the Badge, and they want to show their support. So the vast majority of people that do ride have some connection to the first responder community.
And that really, I think, is so meaningful, that it is a community, and you have all of these people who over the years have come together and they're friends. I mean, you become, it's like seeing old friends and this great camaraderie that people can be part of. And I just wanted to ask you, can people still sign up? I mean, we're still, we still have about a month to go. So can people still sign up and participate in the Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation, Bend to the Shore? There are all these different sites, but can people still sign up and ride?
Absolutely. In fact, you could walk up the morning of and sign up if you'd like.
Okay.
My suggestion would be, especially if you're going to do the 65 miler, that you sign up soon and start training. But we also have a 30-mile option, which grows every year in popularity. And we added last year a 10-miler. So some people who were a little bit older, maybe, or for whatever reason, don't think they could do the 30 or the 65, but want to be a part of it, want to engage, they can do a 10-miler.
Nice.
And the cool thing is, at the 30 and then the 10, they fold into the ride coming from Philly. So everybody finishes about the same time, right? So you get to ride down the last block with people cheering you on and cowbells going, and it's a great feeling.
And so last year I didn't ride, obviously, but I went to the final destination, which people can still do that too, right? So I took Michael and David. We were there with Maureen and everybody. That's fun too, because you have this great area, dunk tank, food, drinks, see everybody, greet everybody. You're still donating. You're still being part of it. So I think that's a piece of it that we don't talk as much about, that I wanted to emphasize with people, that even if you're not going to be able to ride, I wish you would ride, but because if I can do it, you can do it. But if you can't, why not show up at the finish line, cheer everybody on, and then it's a lot of fun afterwards.
The party's great. Look forward to it every year. Wawa caters it. The beer's flowing. The music's going. And you're with this giant group of people that are like-minded in their support of the first responder community. So it's a great day to come, a great afternoon. There's raffles, there's auctions, there's a lot of merch that you can buy. So I highly recommend people, if they're not doing anything that day, the 26th of July, they come up to Atlantic City in front of the Showboat Hotel and join us at the party. We do ask for a donation at the gate, $25, and that helps us defray the costs of all those kegs of beer. We went through a lot of beer last year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a fun event, and that's what I just wanted to point out, because we talk about, the bike actually riding, but then I thought, for some people, maybe they are already down the shore. They want to pop over, like you're saying, donate at least $25, maybe a little more. That would be nice, but take part in it, and maybe it'll tee you up for next year. But there are so many ways that people can just get involved or be involved, even the day of, Mark.
Yeah, and we have over a dozen teams that are run and populated by families and friends of fallen first responders. So besides everybody else, our biggest team, Wheels of Justice, but all these other teams, like Jasmine Hernandez started a team for her husband, Jamie Roman, right? And it's so cool to meet these people and to see their engagement. And they love that their loved one is being remembered. As we do that at our Wall of Heroes, we have giant, we call it the Wall of Heroes. As you step into the party, there's a photo of virtually anyone who has died in the last maybe 10 years or so in the line of duty, and we get their picture up on the wall. We do try to get them sponsored. It's $300 to sponsor somebody on the Wall of Heroes. Unfortunately, we added in this past year 15 people to the wall. So it's just crazy, but you get to come and you get to see that, and you see some of these people going up and seeing their loved one up on the wall. And so they very much appreciate that we do that, and that their loved ones remember.
Well, not just that, which is fantastic in and of itself, to know that their loved one, their husbands, I mean, for, you mentioned Jasmine, for her to understand that people honor her husband every year and have not forgotten the sacrifice of an entire family. But as well, she's going to have Jamie Jr. there, who's now 6. And she said, she was, telling me how much that means to her, that now her son can see that daddy is being honored, and how much it means to their family and their healing. But as well, you think about, being a parent and then raising a child without your husband, right? And then how do you convey to your child, what daddy means to the community? I just, I imagine that means so much, to a little boy who doesn't understand why he can't be with his daddy anymore.
2 years ago, one of our volunteers told us this after the ride, that he was walking by the Wall of Heroes, and a woman was holding up a child and trying to touch one of the photographs. And he went over. She wasn't tall enough, and he lifted the child up, and it was Marissa Fitzgerald with one of her children. Just wanted to touch daddy. He wanted to touch Chris Fitzgerald. How about that, huh?
Oh,
as
my
a story. And we heard that, and we were just sitting there silently saying, oh my gosh, the stories we hear are just amazing.
Yeah.
And it means so much to them. And we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep, unfortunately, growing that Wall of Heroes and making sure they're all remembered.
Yeah, and so with your donation, Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation, you can go to fbbcf.org. You can go to Ben's. I'm trying to think of all the different websites, and I never know which one is the best one, Mark. Is it Ben to Shore? I'm not sure which one
I think
to give out.
Ben to Shore is easiest. Ben, the number 2, Shore, SHORE, bentashore.org. You go there and you can maneuver around. You could sponsor a Wall of Heroes. You can just make a donation. You can donate to Dawn Stensland, who's going to ride, and to Team 1210. So that's great. And I'd love all your listeners, if they're going to make a donation, to make sure they make sure they give it to Team 1210, WPHT.
Okay. Yeah, and I think I'm Dawn Menti because it went under because my married name's Menti. So if you go put Dawn M, because there are a couple Dawns I noticed. But either way you look at it, Team Roman, however that works for you. And I also love that you mentioned too, people can go, you can navigate through the site. So let's say, like you said, you want to sponsor the Wall of Heroes, you can pick and choose. And that's important too, because I think a lot of people are touched by the different stories that we're talking about. And even with the headlines, unfortunately and tragically, you think of all the headlines with different law enforcement, different officers, who may have been injured on the job, then lost their fight for life in the hospital. You want to donate, go ahead and do that. And so, I think there's something for everybody on the site. It's a great site, but it's just important to get involved. And that's really the point. Whether you want to go in person at the end, whether you want to ride, whether you want to donate or sponsor upcoming, whether you want to give monthly, you can choose that too. A one-time donation, maybe you want to do this monthly and make even a small dollar amount a month. All of it really does. I can vouch for this over the years. It matters because the worst thing that anybody can do is to forget. And I think that's, Mark, I think that's what makes you, so special to me and in all of our hearts is that every year how this grows and what you're doing for these families, because a widow doesn't want to be, that's everybody says that. Don't call me a widow. I survived something, and they are the families behind the badge who don't want to be forgotten. That's the important piece, right, Mark?
That is the important piece, and it's because of folks like you and Greg Stocker and the team at 1210. Nick, who complains about riding every year, but he gets on the bike and rides, right? The support you give us and get the word out in the community, that's what makes this grow. So here at Families Behind the Badge, Jack and Mackenzie and I, we feel very blessed and lucky to do what we do. We don't think we have jobs. We just get to receive and help manage all this support that these people are getting.
Yeah, and for you, what you're doing is so great. And you mentioned Nick Cale. He's so self-deprecating. But I said to him, look, if you were like a professional bicyclist, I think that would be more intimidating. I think it's better to say, hey, I've gained a few pounds, or hey, I don't do this regularly. I think that's more encouraging for people because it's not a race. It's just so much camaraderie. It's so great and more social than anything. And I think that's a big part of it, that it's a welcoming event. It's not one of these events where people go and they are like professionals and you feel so intimidated. The opposite. I think it's just what I would say a welcoming event, and that's why it just grows and grows every year.
Yeah, we have four rest stops on the way to New Jersey about every 15 miles. Vehicles going up and down. If you get a little tired, they'll pick you up, move you forward. If you want to go all the way to Atlantic City, you can get a ride into Atlantic City. It's all about the cause. What goes on the ride stays on the ride. We want your money. We don't care if you make it on the bike. We want your money. We want you to contribute, and so then we continue to do what we do for the community. So it's not that difficult, and especially with the support that we have set up on the ride. So you're not too late to want to do the ride. You can go on bendtooshort.org. You can go on there and register on Team 1210 and ride with Dawn Menti.
Well, Mark, we look forward to it. Can't wait. It's not too soon because I'm still, I am riding with my sons because I don't want to embarrass myself, but it is for a great cause. And I love what you just said. Once you've donated, it's all downhill. Just make sure you donate and support Families Behind the Badge.
That's right. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you, Mark. See you soon.
Okay.
Take care. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We will continue right after this.
Weather is sponsored by Kitchen Magic.
The sunny conditions continue through the afternoon. It'll be hot but not humid with a high of around 87. For tonight, becoming more humid, partly cloudy. There will be a chance for a shower overnight with a low 70 for the city, a bit cooler in the suburbs. And then for Friday, partly sunny. It'll be humid with a high again around 87.
Make this summer the one you finally love your kitchen. Dawn Stensland here. Kitchen Magic, family owned in Nazareth since 1979. Offering 40% off installation and flexible financing. Visit kitchenmagic.com today. Tell them Dawn sent you.
It feels like every day there's something in the headlines that could make you wonder to yourself, is now even a good time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping people get to, through, and beyond retirement for over 28 years, and each week he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9 a.m., and 5 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Looking for an auto repair shop you can actually trust? McCullough's Auto Repair has been serving Delco since 1999. They believe honesty, fairness, and friendly service still matter. Chuck and Ralph run the place. No matter your car's issue, they'll explain it in plain English and help you decide what really needs to be done now and what can wait. Chuck's motto is, I'll never steer you wrong. Call McCullough's at 610-446-1230 and ask for Chuck or Ralph, or visit McCulloughsAutorepair.com.
Prioritize yourself and make your dream of an attractive, healthy smile a reality at PI Dental Center. The professionals at PI Dental have been transforming patients' smiles for over 38 years. Board-certified specialists, Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, perform complex dental makeovers with their Teeth in a Day protocol, where dental implants are placed and restored with fixed teeth in just one day. It's time to invest in yourself. For a smile that's monumental, trust PI Dental. Visit PIDentalCenter.com.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
Pet parents, there are many sources to buy your pet food these days, but at Dogs and Cats Rule, we take special care in selecting our brands based on quality of ingredients, company transparency, and science-based nutrition. Coming into a Dogs and Cats Rule store with a dietary issue, we can help select the proper food. The best part of the visit is the shopping experience. That's Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 locations. For information online, visit dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
So keep hope alive. You know me, half glass full. Dawn Stensland here reporting, talking about all things economics. So this was on, I think, with Larry Kudlow on one of his shows, the Atlanta Fed Nowcast, talking about manufacturing numbers, household wealth. The headline was Household Wealth Nearing $180 Trillion, and looking at what Kudlow referred to as a quote-unquote roaring economy, or at least indicators that give us hope. So with that, let's bring in Dr. Michael Busler, Stockton University, and as well you see Michael's work, Dr. Busler's work on a lot of national shows as somebody who can talk about all things economic. Michael, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, Dawn. Thanks for having me. As you know, it's always my pleasure to be here.
Well, we appreciate you, and you always try to put things into perspective, and as do I. I mean, this is Larry Kudlow, obviously somebody who is somebody who's on Fox and on the business channels, but is trying to give some encouraging signs, because there's a ton of bad news depending on where people get their news. And so depending on where somebody gets their news, they might want to say, oh, man, this all looks bad. It all looks good. This is the Goldilocks approach, in my opinion, Michael. I always want to just, give it to people straight. In other words, there are some good signs. Yeah, people are still worried about inflation. People are obviously looking at energy prices. Gas prices have gone down. They're not as good as they were 6 months ago. What do you see when you look at, looking at this Atlanta Fed, the nowcast, but looking at the latest numbers, what do you see?
Well, I too am very optimistic about the economy going forward. Recall in the beginning of the year, when you asked me, how do you think the economy will do this year? I said 4% this year. It didn't do that in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It was only 2 or 2.5%. Now the second quarter looks to be much stronger. That's second quarter gets over in a week or two. You won't have the data till the end of July. So what kind of things do you look at to say, how is the economy? We can look at the stock market. Now people say, well, that only impacts people that own stocks. Many of us, maybe even most of us, have retirement plans. And when the stock market does well, we're going to have more to retire. However, why is the stock market doing well? When somebody looks at the price they'll pay for a share of stock, it's based on their anticipation of what the future profits of the corporation will be. If you believe that the economy is going to grow robustly and corporate profits will go up, then you're willing to pay more for a share of stock. And since we've hit so many records in the last couple of months or so, investors feel that the economy is about to take off. And I share that view. So what other kind of things can we look at? Well, if business plans to produce more output in the coming, we're going to need more people. So when you hire more people, it's a sign you expect the business to grow and the economy to expand. The last 3 or 4 months, the job numbers have been phenomenal. So looking at those two things, the economy looks good. Now, somebody's going to say back to me, wait a second, inflation is running over 4%. And you said, hi, the economy doesn't work. And that's true. However, the whatever stage the Iran conflict is in, and this understanding, I don't know. But the important thing is, I think the Strait of Hormuz is opened. There's millions, even tens of millions of gallons of gasoline, of oil rather, going through there every day. As that increases the supply, the price comes down. And already, I haven't looked today, but last I looked, the price was down to about $75 a barrel. It was one point yesterday, seen it this morning. But when that happens, gasoline prices will fall. Now, for the last 3-4 weeks, we've been paying over $4 a gallon for gasoline. Now you look around, it's slipping under $4 a gallon. That will likely continue. And as the price of energy goes down, that tends to me. So with those things, and again, as I mentioned the last few times on the show, in the big, beautiful bill, they allow expensing of an investment in the year that you make it. Instead of buying a building and depreciating it over 25 years to recover your capital, you can do it, write the whole thing off this year. That 10% in the first quarter, and I think that will continue into the future. The whole key to this is the price of energy has to go down and has to remain low. If energy spikes, once that happens, it's not good for the economy and the economy will slow down. So assuming this memorandum of understanding holds, I know how shaky it is, and assuming the Strait of Hormuz stays open, and the president says he's committed to having that happen, and the price of energy comes down, I'm extremely optimistic about the economy going forward.
Yeah, so I'm even headlines within the past 20 hours. Hormuz reopens, gas prices set to drop as 12.5 million barrels flow. That was a local headline. That was actually 23 hours ago. I was just checking out some of the different headlines. But then other ones, are negative. I mean, and how much do the negative headlines when we think about gas prices or we think about affordability? That's a big word that we hear in this especially election season, affordability. And so with regard to that, as far as consumer confidence combined with the affordability issue and combined with, obviously, we're looking toward next November, what are some of the things that either you're encouraged by or I would say things that concern you and things that give you hope?
So up until this last inflation report that went up over 4%, when it was under 4%, wage increases are close to 4%. So as long as price increases, inflation is less than that, you're seeing a real increase in wages and incomes and your ability to buy things. Consumer confidence surveys are way down, although they did tick up slightly in the last month or two, but they're way down. And what's paradoxical about that is normally when you expect consumer confidence to be down, consumers say, I'm not spending any money, I'm not confident in the economy. Yet retail sales are booming. They went up 0.6% last month, I think 0.9% the month before. So although consumers say this is all gloom and doom and I don't feel good, they're still going out and spending. Part of it is probably due to what the economists call the wealth effect. When consumers feel wealthier, they're likely to spend more money. If you don't feel very wealthy, you're likely to hold back. And consumer wealth is at an all-time high, driven by housing prices. Now, while we're saying it's a bad thing, people can't afford new houses, and all that's true. But for people that own houses, bought them 10 years ago, and now it's worth a few $100,000 more than you paid for it, then you've built your wealth. If you have 401k and a large percentage of the population has that, you're going to feel wealthy because, hey, I looked at it, there was 150,000 in it a month ago, now it's up to 165,000. So now I feel wealthier, and when you feel wealthier, you're likely to spend money. So although consumer confidence is low, consumers are still spending money, and that's a good sign.
And then also for, I think about all the celebrations that are happening. I've been looking into all of the 250th celebrations, and here in our area, especially like in Philadelphia, when we look at the tens of thousands of people, I think they said last Friday, 55,000 people, tourists. A lot of them are from other countries, from outside the country, but or from around the country, but 55,000 people looking at all the money flowing. And that's another piece of this. I mean, the celebrations, the 250th, the sporting events, the FIFA events, depending on your city, but for us in New Jersey, New York, Maryland, especially Philadelphia, just raking in the money. And then for local businesses, it means a lot too. And I think that I don't know that I've heard the coverage or seen the coverage as much as I think it should be covered more. Am I wrong here? I just feel like this is infusing all of this excitement and new money, if you will, tourism dollars into American cities like Philadelphia.
And that's marvelous. People are coming here from all over the world. Now they watch on TV and they say, well, there's always riots in America and they're complaining about this and that. Every newscast I've seen about people from foreign country coming over here to either watch soccer or play, they love the country. They love going out at 1 o'clock in the morning to the Waffle House and being able to get waffles. They love all the freedom that you have here. And they keep saying, wow, this isn't what I'm seeing on TV. I thought this was all problems here. This is marvelous. I even heard some people the other day say, I'm going to stay as long as my visa allows me to stay. This is just a marvelous place. One person said, I went around to a bunch of different cities and states. Every city has their unique kind of culture and what they're known for. I had a cheesesteak at Pat's in Philadelphia, and that's what they're known for. I had some cheesecake. There's some cheesecake places in New Jersey that are very well known. They love the food here. They love the country. It's great for our image. This FIFA thing has been good. Now, on the economic side, all these people coming over here and they're spending money.
Yeah.
I mean, every one of these FIFA games, the stadiums are sold out. I think the people from Scotland brought half the country with them. They went to Boston, they drank all the beer there, and they went down to Miami, and they're partying there. They think Americans are friendly, they like spending money. What's happening this summer is so good for the American psyche. We've been told Americans are a bad country, and we've been, with slavery and everything, reparations, all the thing. And if you look at all the good in the country, and people will start to see that this summer. Washington is having that fair where every state is going to exhibit something that'll draw a lot of fans. If they ever get the algae out of that pool there, that'll look very nice too. But people are coming here, they're spending money. Americans are starting to feel good again. Once all these celebrations go and people start to say, hey, look at what we've done here. We really do have it much better than we've been saying all along. I think it's a big turn for people to start looking positively rather than negatively at the country. As you said before, the glass is always half full. In this case, it's over half full. I think we should concentrate on that instead of the little empty parts. And look, nothing is perfect. We strive for a perfect union, but nothing is perfect. But this is about the best you're going to get anywhere.
Which I feel good. Well, listen, thank you so much. What a pleasure, as always.
All right. See you soon, Dawn. Thanks for having me.
See you soon, Michael. Thanks a million. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Keep hope alive.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Hi, welcome to Bucks County Estate Traders. Hi, we need to fill a big space on our wall.
Something that says, wow.
Oh, of course. Our showroom is full of all styles of artwork and decor pieces. And some of our items have even been featured on the big screen and in TV shows.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty cool, right? So when you're looking for a stunning piece of art, Bucks County Estate Traders has the selection and variety. And I see your inventory is online. Oh, it sure is, along with the size and price, so you can measure the space and browse at your leisure. It's all at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Summer is here, and that means pool days and patio nights. But is your uneven concrete making your backyard feel more like a construction zone than a vacation spot? Stop worrying about stubbed toes and stumbles. Keystone Guncrete can level your pool deck and patio quickly and cleanly, saving you thousands over the cost of pouring new concrete. We'll have your backyard party ready before your water even gets warm. Head to KeystoneGuncrete.com. Remember, Guncrete is spelled with a K. Mention 1210 and we'll take $50 off your project.
Get ready for Men at Work. And Toad the Wet Sprocket. Live in concert. Friday, July 31st, Event Center at Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa. Get tickets now at theborgata.com. Don't miss Men at Work and Toad the Wet Sprocket.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. The Supreme Court has issued rulings on two major immigration issues. Justices decided that the Trump administration can turn away asylum seekers at the U.S.-Mexico border. ABC News senior Washington reporter Devin Dwyer.
This was a decision over a policy from the first Trump administration known as metering or turn back. It was basically an effort to shut the door at ports of entry across the southern border to prevent migrants, immigrants, from even stepping foot on U.S. soil to file a claim for asylum.
The High Court also cleared the way for the Trump administration to cancel temporary protective status for Syrians and Haitians. Advocates for Haitian immigrants urge Congress to extend TPS. The NAACP condemns what it calls a betrayal based on anti-black immigration sentiment. Help is on the way to Venezuela after the deadly earthquakes there overnight. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the first phase is the search and rescue teams deployed from Los Angeles and Virginia.
The second phase, of course, will be identifying their more longer-term and acute needs. What are the things over the long term they're going to need help with? We'll have a better assessment of that after the next 48 hours when we're on the ground and as the Venezuelan authorities get more visibility as to the level of damage.
At least 164 people are confirmed dead and nearly 1,000 injured. Europe's deadly heat wave is not letting up. The Spanish Health Ministry says 212 people died from the heat between Sunday and Thursday. The Federal Reserve's primary metric for gauging inflation is out. ABC's Jim Ryan.
The Fed's Board of Governors would like to see an annual inflation rate of 2% before lowering interest rates. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Index hasn't hit that mark since early 2021. And last month, inflation accelerated 4.1% over May of last year, nearly guaranteeing not a rate cut anytime soon, but an interest rate hike at the Fed's next meeting in July.
You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
I've been telling you all about the secret war on our cash and the free report you can receive a copy of by contacting Swiss America at 800-289-2646. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe to their podcast on YouTube. Just search Swiss America Trading. The podcast can provide you a ton of vital information and financial news in the challenging and uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
And then he does a show on N2 at 6. He's a very, very busy man. All right. Yeah. I love when you join me. So you are welcome to join me, 855-839-1210, or you can just go to X and just tag me in a post at Mary Walter Radio. There's no S, and I will do my best to read your comments on the air as we get there. Coming up in less than half an hour, David Marcus from Fox News, he's a digital columnist there. He's the author of Charade, will be joining us. We're going to talk to him about what happened with the rise of the socialists on the left. And is this a break in the party? Because I kind of think it is, but we'll find out. But let's start off. Since it's almost Friday, I want to start off with something. I get a little bit later as we head into the weekend because it already feels like the 4th of July, even though it's not. It kind of feels like it is. Everybody's taking off already. I've based on the amount of work that I'm working, like the amount of hours I am working between now and like July 7th, Tuesday after the 4th of July, I'm convinced that it's like Christmas. No one's working. Like between the week before, leading into Christmas, the week between Christmas and New Year, and then like for a couple days after New Year or the week after New Year, I will log easily, 9 hours of radio a day, 3 TV hits. I just get no sleep whatsoever. Last year, I lost 10 pounds between Thanksgiving and New Year's. It was crazy. And this kind of feels the same way, which is kind of cool. It's exciting, right? It's kind of exciting. So yesterday was the start of the Great American State Fair. The fair is free, so if you want to go to Washington, D.C. and check it out, you can. And like each state has, it looks like a tent, like a booth type thing. Some states, of course, are are not directly taking part because of Trump. But officials from Washington State, Massachusetts, Illinois, North Carolina, and Connecticut told CNN that they declined to organize booths for their state because of limited finances. Okay, whatever. They have like a pavilion where they get it's covered, and they go inside, and you have like they have a display. Like New Jersey's has like a tiny, in the middle has a sand carving. It looks like a sand carving, like a sand castle for Cape May County, and it looks like dune grass planted in it, and boards going around it like a little boardwalk, and then pictures of boats and a lifeguard station, all that kind of stuff. So different ones, like Las Vegas has, of course, the famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign, and all different stuff for different ones. And each one got to decorate their own little thing. So it's pretty cool. It's a fun thing to go do. And it's, I don't know, a state fair is obviously a very, very American thing to go do. So if you happen to be down in Washington, D.C., and there's a big Ferris wheel too. It's a big Ferris wheel as well. So let's kick it off. So last time was the big kickoff. I want to start with Secretary Sean Duffy, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. He spoke before President Trump spoke. So here is Secretary Sean Duffy, because there were supposed to be all of these singers. That's the other thing. Let me set this up for you. It's supposed to be all these acts who were going to perform. And at the last minute, they all bagged out because Trump, and they're insane. And so, you know what we had? We had our great military band and and different bands from different branches. They had incredible singers. Oh my gosh. If you go online and look for the version of Alleluia, Leonard Cohen's Alleluia, there was the professional opera singer that Trump has performed all place, and this guy who was in the band, the military band. What an amazing voice. It is a beautiful interpretation of it. Beautiful. Anyway, let's kick it off with Secretary Duffy now that I've set it up for you. This is very quick. Here he is.
Okay, to start this off, I think we have to give a big round of applause for our military band and singers. Way better than those libtards that canceled on us. So much better. Thank you, guys.
You know, I don't like the name calling. I'm just not a fan of name calling. But I am so tired of not name calling. When on social media, I get called the most vile things that you can possibly imagine. Every liberal is a misogynist, first of all, and they all hide behind anonymous accounts because they're cowards, right? They're cowards. They're bullies. Bullies are cowards. And they all hide behind anonymous accounts. And you can always tell when things are slow on Blue Sky, or their local pharmacy has run out of Valium or whatever kind of mood enhancer they happen to be prescribed, because they're just mean. They're just mean. I'm sorry, and not all of them, of course, but the vast majority of them, at least the vocal ones, they're just mean. They're not good representatives of their people. So I did chuckle a little bit. All right, so let's go to President Trump. Again, I recommend you go to social media and listen to his full speech. It was really inspiring, I thought. I thought it was very well written. And for once, he didn't really stray off the script, which made me very happy. Very happy about that. It's just a little tiny bit of it. It was long, but again, he talked about the founding of the nation and how it was founded by farmers and lawyers and shopkeepers and doctors and, just average everyday people. And this was also part of the speech. Again, just a little snippet here.
From Athens to Rome, from London to Paris, from New York to LA, and from all of the other parts of the world, the great civilizations of history did not wallow in aging ruins of the past. They built new cities, they created new monuments, and they forged towering legacies that still inspire the world after hundreds and even thousands of years. As America turns 250 years old, young by comparison to some, but superior to any nation that's ever been built, no matter how many years it took. We are the inheritors of these incredible traditions. We are the ones who are carrying forward the light of Western civilization, because this is the very beginning of the golden age of America. We're in the golden age. There's never been an age like this. There's never been an age like this. This anniversary is a time to be proud of our past, but it is also a time to lift our sights, expand our ambitions, and raise our expectations of what America can be. We will leave our children nothing less than the richest inheritance, most advanced civilization, and highest standard of living in human history. There's never been anything like it. But with all of that being said, the best is yet to come. Best is yet to come.
I love that. The best is yet to come. It was uplifting. It's the golden age of America. And so many people are just so miserable, and they don't want to celebrate America. They find nothing good in this country. And I think there's just so much good. Look at the way average, everyday Americans welcomed the World Cup people, fans, and welcomed Europeans to this country. It was wonderful. And that's who America is, right? Once you get out of the inner cities where, the commie corridor in New York, or the inner cities where people are just miserable, and that's just their set point, is being miserable and hating America and hating everything and hating anything or anyone that disagrees with them. It was really great to hear the president say that. I thought so. And like I said, I really highly recommend you go and listen to it. All right, let's go to cut 3. This is where he kicks it off. This is, where he says, there's also, he puts in here something that I think is amazing that we're going to talk about at the very end. Listen to what he says is coming up at the very end. Here's more.
Tonight, right here on the National Mall, we are beginning the most unforgettable birthday party any country has ever seen. Oh, you're going to have a good time. You're going to have a good time. This evening, it's my honor to officially kick off the celebration with the Great American State Fair. It's going to be great. It's going to be unbelievable. So from today through July 10th, this event will showcase all 56 states and territories. There will be no military flyovers. And I want to tell you something, because they're going to be beyond flyovers. There'll be something like you've never seen. You get just a little tiny glimpse of it tonight. By the way, how good is our Air Force? How good is our... Nobody's ever seen those planes. They are serious planes. When the bad guys see those planes coming, they say, we give up. But we're going to have special performances, patriotic music, high-tech demonstrations, unique exhibitions, a FIFA fan zone, which is great, and it really has been big stuff, and even an old-fashioned rodeo. I love rodeo. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. Then on July 4th, we will have the greatest show of all on the National Mall. Your favorite president will be speaking. So please show up. Because if we have 2 empty seats, you know what's going to happen? The fake news is going to say, he didn't fill out the arena. No, I'll be speaking. I'll be very proudly speaking as we ring in our 250th year with the largest fireworks display in world history, 10 times larger than any that we've ever done in Washington or in the United States. So if you like fireworks, then in August, we're going to have what's called the Patriot Games, a first-of-its-kind competition featuring the greatest high school athletes from all across the United States. And applications are open through July 10th. These are the best athletes in the country, young athletes. And soon thereafter, we'll have a Freedom 250 Grand Prix right here in Washington around the Capitol.
A Grand Prix around the Capitol on the streets of Washington, D.C. And you know what? To me, this is such a refreshing change. Remember, Pride Month under Joe Biden, and it was all, the gay pride flag and men with silicone bags on their chest bearing their breasts on the South Lawn. And here's Trump celebrating our military and celebrating everything that is so stereotypical American that the left hates. It's nice and refreshing to me. And I'm sure there are people who disagree, and that's fine. But I don't know. I just love it. I've never been to a Grand Prix because I drive the Garden State Parkway and the New Jersey Turnpike on a regular basis. And in my humble opinion, NASCAR ain't got nothing on that. Because everybody's making a left-hand turn in professional car racing. When you're on the Parkway or the Turnpike, you don't know where people are going to go at a moment's notice. I actually have a camera in my car now because there's going to be an accident inevitably, and I want the evidence to prove it wasn't my fault. So I now have a camera in my car. But how cool is that? And I just love that he's celebrating the military, and he talks about our great pilots and how skilled they are with the flyovers and everything. It's just wonderful. So I'm super happy about that, and I would assume you are too. And I'm kind of bummed because I'm going to miss the fireworks in Washington, D.C. I'm sure, there'll be highlights because we're actually going out of one of the marinas on the big Sea Streak, the big boats that the ferries that ferry back and forth to Manhattan. And they're having different cruises. And of course they have, the tall ships cruise, and you go out, I think it's like 4 or 5 hours, and you watch the fireworks, the New York fireworks from in the harbor, in New York Harbor. So Lady Liberty is going to be there, and you get to watch the fireworks. She's on the other side. They're actually on the East River. So I don't know exactly where we're viewing them from, but it will be somewhere in the harbor. So, that's kind of cool. And it was expensive. It's like crazy expensive, this stuff. And I don't even know if we get food. Like, it doesn't say anything about food on it. So I have to call and find out exactly like what we signed up for. And it's crazy expensive. But my husband said, you know what? We're not going to be around for another 50-year anniversary. We're not, right? And dear God, if we are, Lord help us, somebody put a pillow over my head. But so he said, let's just spend the money. Let's just do it. And I was like, all right. And so 2 friends are coming with us, and we decided to do that. But I am a little bummed because I wouldn't mind seeing the fireworks in D.C. All right, we've got a lot more coming up, including we have David Marcus, who will be joining us as well coming up here. We're going to talk about the rise of socialism and what it means for everybody else now that we've seen it in, they start out small. They have a pattern. We're going to talk about that and where else we're going to see this, and if it's just a fluke, or is this the new direction of the country? It's all coming up on the Dom Giordano Show.
Hi, welcome to Bucks County Estate Traders.
Hi, we need to fill a big space on our wall.
Something that says, wow.
Oh, of course. Our showroom is full of all styles of artwork and decor pieces. And some of our items have even been featured on the big screen and in TV shows.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty cool, right? So when you're looking for a stunning piece of art, Bucks County Estate Traders has the selection and variety.
And I see your inventory is online.
Oh, it sure is, along with the size and price, so you can measure the space and browse at your leisure. It's all at BucksCountyEstateTraders.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000.
Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief took care of Eric's problem.
And now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
Today's Full Price is brought to you by Edelman's Coins, Philadelphia's local bullion dealer, celebrating its 100th year anniversary, a 4th-generation company. Visit edelmanscoins.com to learn more. Today's gold market price is $3,994.20.
93% of Pennsylvanians killed in a car crash while unbelted could have survived if they just buckled up. One simple click, a second of your time. It's the difference between making it home to your loved ones or not making it home at all. Whether you're a driver or a passenger, make the life-changing choice to wear a seatbelt every drive, every time. It's not just the law, it's common sense. Buckle up, PA. Learn more at PennDOT.pa.gov/safety.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Eczema, eczema, eczema. So many ads for eczema products.
But those fancy TV ads don't mention that those prescription products can cost thousands of dollars. There's a smarter way. It's Exoderm for eczema and dermatitis. Exoderm costs less than $20. Yep, less than $20. You don't need a prescription, and it's available on the first aid aisle of your local store. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean, hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives or nasty chemicals. Exoderm, fast, effective relief from the itching and inflammation of eczema. This stuff really does work. Take back control. Heal eczema flares with soothing Exoderm Flare Control Cream. It's on the first aid aisle of your local drugstore, supermarket, and at Target and Walmart too. Exoderm for eczema. Now that's smart.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
And welcome back. I'm Mary Walter. How are you? Works much better when I turn my microphone up. All right. Well, we've got David Marcus coming up, and there's so much to talk about today on the show. And I do have some things that, maybe a little bit lighter topics as we head into our weekend. You can join me at 855-839-1210 or reach out to me on X, which I really should open up so I could see if you have been hitting me up with comments. Just tag me in a post on X at Mary Walter Radio. All right. Now, very quick, I do want to talk about, have you seen the videos from this earthquake in Venezuela? There were 2 earthquakes. I mean, I remember, okay, and I don't know how many of you have ever been in an earthquake. So about, 2 years ago, there was earthquakes that were hitting New Jersey. Did you guys feel any of that? I don't know if any of you felt that. I was on the air, and all of a sudden, everything started to shake. And I was like, what the heck is happening? And then I lost the connection, and then the lights were flaming. I'm like, what is happening? And it was wild. It was absolutely, and it had a sound, like earthquakes have a sound, which I never knew before. And I thought, who is like, it just sounded like a big dump truck coming down the road, really loud. It's like, what is that? So I can't, and that was a small one. So I can't even imagine what this was like. And there are so many videos coming out from people who had the I guess, presence of mind to turn their cell phones on and to record what was happening as they fled, trying to get out of their buildings, trying to, running through the streets as the buildings are just collapsing around them. These are the strongest earthquakes they've had in over 100 years. Now, the numbers, I'm sure, are going to go up. The acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, said that at least 164 people were killed and more than 971 were injured in the earthquakes, but that number is going to go up. In a Truth Social post, President Trump said the 2 major earthquakes that just hit the great people of Venezuela are both massive in scale and have left a devastating number of deaths. The USA stands ready, willing, and able to help. I have instructed all agencies of our government to get ready to move quickly. We will be there for our new and great friends. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, an initial magnitude 7.2 earthquake struck at 6:04 p.m. with its epicenter about 15 miles northeast of San Felipe. Now, 39 seconds later, they got a stronger one, another one, 7.5, quake struck with its epicenter about 14 miles southeast of Umari. I don't know where those places are, but close enough to affect each other and be felt, both of them be felt. High casualties and extensive damage are probable. The disaster is likely widespread, according to the USGS. And they rarely give out a red alert statement. This was one of them. As I said, the strongest to hit Venezuela in more than a century. Rodriguez declared a state of emergency, obviously, and they've had dozens of aftershocks. That happens, which are very unnerving. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau posted on X that American officials were in contact with Venezuelan authorities and they're working to deliver assistance to Venezuela. Secretary of State Marco Rubio also detailed to reporters today specific ways the U.S. is providing support. He said, we're already deploying a search and rescue team from Fairfax County, Virginia, and Los Angeles. There will be others that we're going to add. That's their most immediate need right now is search and rescue. They have much of collapsed buildings, and so they'll need a lot of help in terms of digging through that. The airport there is badly damaged. We're going to have to rely on the Department of War to deploy assets there. And then we're also helping them with some overhead imagery, especially in coastal areas where they don't have full visibility over what the damage has been and what the impact has been. And this is when he was in Bahrain, he put this statement out. He also revealed, this is interesting, that a number of other countries have reached out to us to offer support to Venezuela. So I guess we're in charge. We're always in charge of organizing the party. Have you ever noticed that? No matter what it is, there's always like one person in the family, usually an older woman, who is in charge of organizing all the family reunions and the holidays and the cooking and the this and the that. We're that person. Venezuela, Qatar, El Salvador, Chile, and others have reached out to offer support. He said, we'll also have to manage what we expect is going to be a surge in private donations. I can't imagine there is going to be a lot of people from the United States and entities in the United States that we've already been in touch with some of the leading charities. But I know at a local level, particularly in places where I call home in South Florida, there's going to be a lot of people that want to step forward and help and provide assistance. And we just need a way to find that we can step in and provide logistical support from that. I'm always so careful when you donate to these things. It's like what happened with the Palisades fire. Remember, they had a big concert and everybody donated money, and then the money didn't go where it was supposed to go. The Democrats in California siphoned it off into pet projects, and it didn't go to the people it was supposed to go to. So I'm very squishy when it comes to donating money to stuff that way. If I know, who's the chef? Is it Chef Andreas? There's a chef who has the World Mobile Kitchen. Even though I don't agree with his politics, I like what he does. And so something like that where I know it's going specifically to a specific group of people that I trust, then I'll donate. But it's really sad, and the videos are insane. There's a video from some fishermen off the coast, and they're rocking in the boat because the way the water is of course, the waves are crazy, and they're just watching smoke from all of these buildings collapsing in probably where they live. So it's sad. It's really sad. I can't even imagine watching that. All right. Do we have David? Is he here with us yet?
He's going to be with us in just a few minutes here. I think we should
a few minutes
after the break, I'll say.
Oh, okay. After the break. Cool. So why don't we do that? Why don't we take a quick break here, and then we're going to come back with David Marcus, and we're going to talk about the rise of socialism and whether this is a one-off, is this just a weird thing, or is this pretty much how it infiltrates a country? Because I think that's what happens. So we will talk to him about that coming up. You're listening to 1210 WPHT.
Searching for a new path to wellness? Dr. Molly Fantasia explains how medical hydration therapy can help you reclaim your energy. Listen to Health Watch, Sunday mornings at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Here's retirement phase expert Joanne Small-Canella with today's report.
As we approach America's 250th birthday, we celebrate the greatest nation in the world, built by those who fought for the right to live free and enjoy the fruits of their labor. Our forefathers declared their independence from the British government, which was taking control of our God-given freedoms and built the democracy we know and love today. This week's expert report explains why now is the time to declare your financial independence from Wall Street and reclaim control of your retirement future. Fees, inflation, and market losses. For far too long, those three forces have limited your financial freedom. You cannot control market downturns that can wipe out years of gains and force you to postpone retirement, reduce spending, or even return to work. You cannot control inflation, which continues to increase the cost of everyday necessities, making it harder to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to build. And you might not even know all the market fees eroding your nest egg. According to FINRA, 20% of investors believe that they pay no fees at all, while another 18% don't know how much they're paying. Those fees quietly reduce the financial freedom you thought you secured, whether the market is up or down. The exclusive crash-proof retirement system puts you back in control. There's no market risk, no fees, the potential for double-digit interest returns that can't be taken away, and inflation fighters designed to combat rising prices without depleting your nest egg, leaving you free to enjoy your golden years with peace of mind. Schedule an appointment with a retirement phase expert and declare your financial independence from Wall Street with the exclusive crash-proof retirement system. Call 800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com. God bless you all. God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America.
Weather sponsored by H&K Group Incorporated.
Partly sunny conditions continue through the afternoon. It'll be hot but not humid with a high of around 87. For tonight, becoming more humid, partly cloudy. There will be a chance for a shower overnight with a low 70 for the city, a bit cooler in the suburbs. And then for Friday, partly sunny. It'll be humid with a high again around 87.
Start your new career with H&K Group Incorporated. H&K Group wants to offer you the opportunity to be part of the industry leader. 80 locations across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Visit hkgroup.com and apply today. H&K is an equal opportunity employer.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
So are we. We're back too. I'm Mary Walter, and joining us right now is David Marcus. David is a Fox News digital columnist, and he's also the author of Charade, The COVID Lies That Crushed a Nation. Now, what's interesting about this is this book was written in November of 2021, early on. Charade, The COVID Lies That Crushed in 2021. And now we know that all of those lies were actually lies. Now we know the truth, so he was way ahead of the curve. David, thank you for joining me. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I do feel a little vindicated, I have to say.
Right? Like, I do too, because of all of the crazy people that I know, like, because I did not get the vaccine. I stood strong and I was ostracized. Right. And the people who like wouldn't include me, like, you know, I got the invitations to the weddings with a little note that says, if you're not vaccinated, I'm sorry, but you can't come, right? I was like, yeah, P.S., but please send a gift, right? Like all of those people. Now they're all like, oh, COVID's not a thing anymore. And I'm like, no, COVID's always around and I'm still unvaccinated. So I really am going to keep you safe and not come to your party. So I do. I keep them safe. It's still here, right?
Right. That's what they say.
Right. So it'll be here forever, and I'm still not vaccinated, so I can still kill them at 100 yards, apparently.
They're not going to believe the stories one day.
They'll never admit it, though. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah.
That's the problem. And I demand at least an apology for the way you treated me. And if I'm not going to get the apology, then do not invite me to your party now. And I'm not inviting you to mine. I'm done. All right. Are you with me? Are you also pure-blooded?
No, I got the J&J because I had to go cover something in California. I was living in New York at the time, and I literally, like, it just would not have been possible. So I think the J&J was not like an mRNA; it was one shot. So I just did it. But I certainly, I don't care if anybody's vaccinated or not. It's really just like that was such a silly part of our. I mean, devastating, but ultimately ridiculous.
So when my husband, and then we'll get off this topic and get to what you're here for. When my husband and I talk about COVID and we call it the stupid times. We never call it COVID. Right. We call it, and then during the stupid times, when you could only get right. you could only get it if you stood up, but not when you were sitting down in a restaurant. That's those times. All right. Speaking of that, it's the same people that are bringing us socialism. Is there a difference between democratic socialism and socialism? Because no one can tell me that.
No, I don't think there is. I think that they're smart enough not to call themselves straight up socialists or communists, which is ultimately, what they seem to be. But I think when you look at Tuesday night, the thing that jumps out to me is the absolute and utter failure of the establishment Democratic Party machine. I mean, I was born and raised in Philly. I spent 20 years living in New York. Espillat, the incumbent, lost by fewer than 3,000 votes in a really low turnout election. You're telling me Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader of the House of Representatives with roots in Brooklyn deeper than the bridge, couldn't get 3,000 votes to protect this guy? Something's broken there. And the DSA machine works. And I don't know the Philly situation as well, but I think it's similar. Ed Rendell never would have let this stuff happen. It's crazy town.
Well, here's the thing is we have a generation that's been brought up with envy, to envy everything that you don't have, to want what everyone else has, even though you say that it's bad to have it, because they're terrible people for being rich. And they're terrible for being white, and they're terrible for having worked hard, and they're terrible for owning a home, but yet they want all those things, right? So because I want them, I'm just going to take them from you. So it's a generation that was raised to be emotion-based and to believe that their emotions are facts, and it's a very dangerous thing. And I just look at Russia. How did it happen in Russia? Lenin got the young kids, the university kids, which is the same thing that's happening here, to rise up. And they started small, right? This is the Democrat playbook. And now the DSA is using the Democrat playbook. You take over school boards, you take over small towns, you take over town councils, then you just work your way up from there. And it's not a far leap then to having communists in the Senate.
No, the typical route was first you get the district attorney, then you get the city council, then you get the mayor. But as you say, the school boards are sort of happening at the same time. Now, I will say, I do think that the DSA might be running into a bit of a problem, right? You saw that Richie Torres won his seat in the Bronx really cleanly, and he's like a pro-Israel guy. I don't even call it, he's a liberal Democrat, right? Like same as John Fett, but compared to these guys, right? And part of that had to do with the fact that his neighborhood is less gentrified. The DSA does really well in these like gentrified neighborhoods where a bunch of like college-educated, guilt-ridden white kids move in, and they all vote, right? I mean, they live to vote.
Yeah.
So one problem that they're going to run into is with the traditional black and Hispanic voting bases in places like Philly and New York, although, again, I think their machines are completely broken. But the other flip side of this that people shouldn't miss is Tuesday night was absolutely wonderful for the New York Republican congressional delegation. People like Nicole Maliotakis in South Brooklyn and Staten Island, people like Mike Lawler north of the city. Their job just got way, way easier, right? Because all you have to do is point down the road and say these people are communists. And don't forget, the only reason that the Republicans control the House of Representatives is because New York State flipped 4 seats back in 22.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats aren't even fighting for those seats anymore. They're fighting for their lives against the Democratic Socialists.
Yeah, they did very well. To your point, very low voter turnout. Roughly 17% of Democratic voters citywide turned out. And the majority of them, obviously, were these young, white voters who are obviously socialists. They're part of what they call the commie corridor in New York that goes across Brooklyn and Queens in that area there. So why don't people vote? The Republicans have the same problem. Republicans don't go out and vote either unless it's a huge election. They don't go out and vote. So why?
That's a great question that I don't have the answer to, especially since it seems like our politicians have done nothing over the past decade or two but expand early voting and mail-in voting and on whatever kind of voting you want, right? Like the more we make it impossibly, just easy to vote, the fewer people it seems actually comes to vote. I wonder if there's maybe even like sort of an inverse effect when we got away from the notion of election day, that like election day is a thing, it's election day, I'm going to go vote. And I don't know, there's like a little sacrifice of my time or something, right? Things that you have to sacrifice for are more valuable to you. So I don't know. That's a great question that I wish if we were still in an age where nonpartisanship really existed, that would be a great thing for both parties to look at. I'm just not sure that either party actually wants strong voter turnout everywhere, if you know what I mean. They should. I don't know that they do.
Yeah. So are Democrats at a point, though, where we may see some Democrat politicians saying, like John Fetterman, he's like, and you see people saying John Fetterman's not part of our party. So you are either throwing in with the socialists and you're going to back them because you're going to try to hedge your bets, or you're out. Like this is where you are. We're going to see the Democrat Party have a come to Jesus moment here, or are they just going to keep ignoring it?
Great minds think a lot. I ended my column yesterday by saying that the only way that the Democrats can get out of this nosedive into communism is with a 2028 presidential candidate who's really willing to drag this on the carpet and beat communism around the face a little bit. And the only person who seems willing to do that is John Fetterman. And I flat out told Senator Fetterman, I said, you need to run for president as a Democrat, because the lane is wide open. All I do is travel the country and talk to voters, and the majority of Democrat voters aren't socialists. So, I mean, if he can go out there and say, hey, look, you're right, this is crazy. I mean, imagine him on the debate stage when they start saying, raise your hand if if illegal immigrants should get free trans surgery. He's going to be the only one with his hand down. So I think there's a huge lane for somebody who has the courage to stand up to the zeitgeist of the party. But he's the only one I see doing it right now.
Yeah, well, I really don't want him to run because of that, because he voted against the SAVE Act. He's against the SAVE Act. He's against other things that, yes, he's got some redeeming qualities, which I never thought I would say. But, he's the sane one in the Democrat side. But I don't want to see him run because he could get elected, but he's not going to vote for, ultimately.
That was my political analyst hat, right? Like if I'm J.D. Vance, I don't want to run against him either. If I'm J.D. Vance, I want to run against, crazy McCrazy Town. Although again, careful what you wish for, because
it's true.
Democrats said the exact same thing about Donald Trump. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. I want to play something for you. This is Cut 5. Let's just go to Cut 5. This is Democrat Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester, and she was on CNBC yesterday. And she was asked a very simple question, and this to me illustrates the pickle that Democrats are in right now.
Where has socialism ever worked, Senator?
Is that another question, or is that for the next interview?
That's definitely for you. You said fish doesn't work everywhere. I just want to know one place where socialism has been beneficial.
Well, when you have me come back on, we can talk about all the races across the country.
Ready.
Yeah, he called her out. Yes, so you can get your answer ready. Is that the pickle that Democrats are in now, because Republicans especially are going to push this whole socialism issue? Well, name me a place that you want to, make this country look like, because the socialists who are winning are just saying we have to fight. We need free this. We need free that. They don't tell you how they're going to do it. They're very long on emotion because they know that it riles up the young people and gets them to vote, but they're very short on details.
Yeah, look, I think that's exactly right. And part of the problem here is that unlike the radicals of the 60s and the 70s and even the 80s, who had figures like Noam Chomsky, right, who were the sort of intellectual underpinnings of the movement, these people don't have one. Remember when AOC went to Munich and was asked very basic questions and basically just drooled all over herself because she doesn't actually know anything?
Yes,
these people
that's right.
these people go. Remember, these people go to college and they learn, woke progressive catchphrases, and then they go out and they just turn those into word salads without actually saying anything. And yeah, I do think there's a vulnerability that that people are going to find out that there's no wizard behind the curtain here, because yes, it's vapid, it's shallow, it's completely without substance, and I do think there's a point at which voters start to recognize that.
Yeah. Well, I think they do, but I also think because of the envy and the emotional conditioning of an entire generation, that you just react emotionally. The details don't matter. I see it on X all the time. My gosh, if you ever want to shut up a liberal, when they're calling Trump a pedophile or whatever, just go, prove it. And then they just call you names because they have the emotional capacity of an 8-year-old.
Well, again, because there's no argument. There's no real argument that underlies any of this. And so, look, that will be exposed. But you're right. You can, I would argue Obama kind of surfed on emotion for a long time, right?
Yeah, 100%,
and the one thing, the thing I thought of the other day, like Democrats are always accusing Trump of lying, like everything he says is a lie, right? But when you look at Obama, right? Obama lied in a very specific way, and it's common to a lot of Democrats, right? When Obama said, "I'm against gay marriage because of my deep Christian beliefs," right? We now know that was a lie. Axelrod wrote a book. They knew it. They just said it because they had to say it, right?
Right.
When Trump has trouble with the truth, it generally has to be because he's self-aggrandizing himself or like he feels attacked or something. Obama and the progressives lie by saying, "Oh no, I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm just like you. I'm a regular capitalist." And then they get in office. Look at Spanberger, right? Look at Sherrill in New Jersey. These people ran as Bill Clinton and they're governing as Mamdani. So it's really it's a dangerous thing, and everybody needs to keep sort of exposing this and not letting these people pretend that they're moderates anymore. Mickey Sherrill's just not a moderate anymore. I'm sorry. Her at the ICE facility was disgraceful.
Well, yeah. I mean, she is part of what they run, which is they specialize in picking out very vanilla candidates. And they really don't have a background. Look at AOC. She was a bartender. She was groomed and taught how to speak and what to say and just say these lines. And they take these people and they put them up. But Kamala Harris, I will posit, is exactly the same. She just says words that don't mean anything, especially like the wheels on the bus and the school bus is yellow and Venn diagrams. And she just says stuff with buzzwords and people sit there and applaud, but they don't have anything behind them. Obama, I will argue, is one of those candidates as well. He was a one-time senator and had more non-votes than votes.
Yeah.
So you could make him anything you wanted him to be and sell him as anything you wanted him to be because he was at that time amorphous. And that's what they do. And they run them as very moderate. And then they're like, haha, joke's on you, because the idiots keep voting for them.
Yeah, I think that game has a limited time that it can run, right? Because the rubber does hit the road. And I think, I haven't looked at the Jersey numbers, but I know that in Virginia, very quickly, Spanberger's approval went in the tank because people aren't stupid. Right. That's not as much of a threat in a deep blue state. Although, you know what? Just as I was saying that this is a boon for the congressional delegation, if you're Bruce Blakeman, who's running for governor in New York, I think you just got your platform, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because Kathy Hochul is bent over backwards for these lunatics all over the place. I think just keep hammering that. Just keep exposing that the emperor really has no clothes here. It's just a bunch of, woke talking points.
Yep. Well, David Marcus, I could keep talking to you, but they're going to scream at me. So I gotta let you go. But thank you so much for a great conversation. Check out the book Charade. It is available on Amazon, and it's like he saw into the future. He's like Nostradamus when it comes to the whole COVID thing. So check it out. You can find him on Fox News Digital. Also, check out the cover of today's New York Post, The Young and the Clueless. And it's a picture of all the supporters, screaming and yelling, all young white liberals. So thank you so much, David. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too.
More coming up on 1210 WPHT.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Today's Gold Price is brought to you by Edelman's Coins, Philadelphia's local bullion dealer, celebrating its 100th year anniversary, a fourth-generation company. Visit edelmanscoins.com to learn more. Today's gold market price is $3,994.20.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Free speech lives here with Kaylee Company weekday mornings on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
Well, here's something a little different.
Taking care of business.
This is not good. This is not good difference. Have you guys heard this? Did you hear about the Zizians?
The what? The what?
Zizians.
Zizian. No, I have not.
It's a vegan transgender death cult.
Wow. What is it with cults?
What's with me and cults?
No, you and cults. Yesterday you said pickleball is a cult. This one
is a cult. All right, so I mentioned a cult yesterday and a cult today. Who is that? You be quiet.
That's Kirk.
You be quiet, Kirk. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. But the reason I bring it up is they have a connection to Delaware County.
Oh, no, they're local?
Yes. All right. A vegan transgender death cult. They've been linked to 6 killings. And this woman, Michelle Zajko, she's 32, became the 5th Zizian to be charged with murder when prosecutors blamed her for the deaths of her parents, Richard and Rita. They were shot to death in their home in Delaware County in 2022.
Sounds like a name out of Star Trek.
Zajko. And Zizians, I know, right? Wow. Okay. So she executed her parents. She's charged with executing her parents, rather, in their $1 million home. And now they're saying she did not act alone. They believe that Zajko the Zizian worked with others to shoot her parents to death in their home. She did not act alone, according to Delaware County District Attorney Tanner Rouse. At this time, we do not know who her co-conspirators were, but federal agents have already arrested her for allegedly supplying the guns that her fellow Zizians used to kill a Border Patrol agent in Vermont in 2025. Remember that? They were caught at the border and he was shot and they killed him. And Rouse says, we can say beyond any doubt that Michelle was at least responsible for the death of her parents. And he claims that she killed them shortly after she got involved in this. It's an anti-AI cult led by, a modern-day Charles Manson. The Zizians were founded by Jack Ziz Lasota, who is 34 years old, trans blogger and computer engineer from Berkeley, of course, whose vegan arco-transhumanists seek to protect the world from AI. He's currently in jail in Maryland on various trespassing, gun, and drug charges. 5 of their followers are now awaiting trial for murder. It's not a very good group, including 3 members involved in the death of Curtis Lind, a California man who was killed after trying to evict Zizian squatters from his property. Richard and Rita were murdered on Michelle's birthday. Happy birthday to me. Prosecutors claim they had tried to mend fences with their daughter before she ambushed them at their home, December 31st, 2022. So charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. So all yours, Delaware County.
I don't even think our best fiction writers could come up with something.
I was about to say that too.
Jeez.
I stand corrected, Mary. That is a cult.
It's all right. There you go. There you go. All right. Coming up after the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by former federal prosecutor and Newsmax contributor Doug Burns to talk about all the rulings that came down today from the Supreme Court. And we're going to manage to do it in a 15-minute time span. So it's going to be very fast-paced. That's next on the Dom Giordano Show.
Air conditioner, oh air conditioner, will you make it through the summer? If you don't, it'll be a bummer. Start your spring off right. We got huge rebates if that budget's tight. This is Jonathan Cans, and I am not a poet. I am, however, the 3rd-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. We are the mainline's oldest family-owned HVAC company, and we are not private equity-owned. But we are experts in rebates, big ones. And right now, there are up to $2,300 in rebates available. Contact us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekanze.com.
Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in store and online. It all ends July 4th. Staples. That was easy.
Hit the road this season to watch the birds. Book your road trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are available now for Nashville, Arizona, Chicago, and London. Travel in style with transportation, a pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly, the official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a PH of Philly.com.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. The Supreme Court deals blows to immigrants fleeing violence and danger seeking safety in the U.S. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy in Washington.
In two separate immigration cases, the court split 6-3 along ideological lines, with the conservative majority rejecting the arguments of immigrant rights groups. Both opinions were written by Justice Samuel Alito, who said that would-be asylum seekers in Mexico aren't entitled to make their claims unless they actually reach the U.S. side of the border. Alito also wrote that the government can strip the temporary protected status granted to Haitians and Syrians that has allowed them to stay in the U.S.
The plaintiffs here had also claimed racial animus on the part of the president, who, of course, has said things derogatory about those countries. And Justice Samuel Alito, in the majority opinion, said he did not see sufficient evidence of a racial animus in these decisions.
ABC News senior Washington reporter Devin Dwyer. Advocates for Haitian immigrants urge Congress to extend TPS or many will die. The NAACP condemns what it calls a betrayal based on anti-black immigration sentiment. U.S. help is on the way to Venezuela after deadly earthquakes overnight. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says search and rescue teams are headed there from Los Angeles and Virginia.
The airport there is badly damaged, so we'll have to rely on the Department of War to deploy assets there. And then we're also helping them with some overhead imagery, especially in coastal areas where they don't have full visibility over what the damage has been and what the impact has been.
At least 164 people are confirmed dead, and nearly 1,000 others injured from the Venezuelan quakes. The Federal Reserve's primary metric for gauging inflation is out. Personal Consumption Expenditures Index. Last month, inflation accelerated 4.1% over May of last year. The Federal Reserve's goal for lowering interest rates is 2%. Fewer Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week, says the Labor Department. You're listening to ABC News.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause 30 told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
And welcome back to the Dom Giordano Show. I am Mary Walter, sitting in the seat for Dom. If you want to join in somewhere along the line, 855-839-1210 is my number, or you can tag me in a post on X at Mary Walter Radio. All right, Supreme Court coming down with a bunch of decisions. Still nothing on birthright citizenship yet, but we're waiting. Here to discuss with us and break it down for us is my friend and a great guy, former federal prosecutor Doug Burns, who is also a Newsmax contributor. Doug, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I really appreciate you today because this is a big day and I need your brain. When was the last time a woman told you that, by the way? Come here, big guy. I need your brain.
That's a good one.
So no birthright citizenship ruling. That's the one we're all anxiously awaiting. If we don't get it today, when do we get that ruling?
I'm seeing some of the prognosticators saying early next week, but the answer to your question is probably tomorrow or early next week.
If it's bad, they're going to do it on a Friday, right?
Most likely, but the birthright case really fast, because I know you want to talk about today's cases, is fascinating. It's going to be fascinating to see how they come down on that, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of support for the idea that you have to show allegiance to the U.S., to become a citizen. And it's so ironic because all of the people who criticized, textualism, right, Antonin Scalia, now all of a sudden they're big fans of textualism. They argue, it's in there, that's it, case closed. No need to look at anything else, and I find that really comical.
Yeah, well, we're all hypocrites, aren't we, at some point, in some way, shape, or form?
I refuse to answer that.
So there are quite a few immigration rulings, but there's also one that is not, and that is a Second Amendment ruling regarding concealed carry holders in Hawaii. And of course, all of these rulings are 6-3, which is why the Democrats are going to have that change by this time next year. What happened with the Hawaii ruling? It's a win for the Second Amendment.
Yeah, well, first of all, on the 6-3, it's a little mildly troubling as I went through today's cases. Every single one, exact ideological lines. And that's troubling because it's supposed to be a court of law, not, some kind of policy-making body or a legislature. In Hawaii, basically, Hawaii had really ridiculously, harsh anti-gun measures and so on. And then some changes were made nationally. So they responded with this crazy idea, no hesitancy in calling that if you have a concealed carry permit allowing you to carry all throughout the state, you can't bring it into private property, et cetera, et cetera. And the Supreme Court shut that down and said if the property owner specifically bans it, that's a different discussion. But if not, there's absolutely no requirement to notify anybody. You went through a very, very rigorous process, by the way, to get the concealed gun carry permit, and therefore you're perfectly fine to go into private property that doesn't ban it. Couldn't agree more with that. Again, you have the legal discussion and then the culture war political side. The legal part is the Second Amendment's pretty clear, right to bear arms. The political discussion is, this is ridiculous. And by the way, speaking of ridiculous, when you look at the dissenting opinions very often in the hot-button cases, Mary, you just see sweeping policy-type points, which makes my exact point. It's not a policy court, it's a law court. They can't address the law, so they go with sweeping policy.
Yeah, I don't get that deep in the weeds. I have you for that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the immigration cases. The president won on asylum seekers at the border, and there was apparently a conversation about arriving at the border or in the border. 6-3 that non-citizens who show up at the border do not automatically count as asylum seekers and can be turned away. So previously, if you just showed up, you could just say, hi, seeking asylum, and you were allowed, okay, sure, come on in and fill out your paperwork. Is that what was happening?
If you have a line or you have a border, it's a line and a border. So the point is, with all of the insane craziness, the idea is, the person's still on the other side in the other country. They can absolutely raise their claims, which is ridiculous. And the Supreme Court said, no, a line is a line. And unless and until you cross into the United States of America, you can't raise the claim. Again, that's the legal part, completely straightforward. Then you get into the politics. Oh, my God, you're so anti-immigrant, yada, yada, ba. And it's just ridiculous. The point is, legally, very straightforward. You want to make an asylum claim, you have to cross into the country to do so. And that's what the Supreme Court held. And, of course, the three dissenters, again, just like the old Mattel doll when we were kids. Remember, you would pull the string and wind it up, and this decision's no good, ba.
Is ba a legal term?
No.
I was just curious if they taught you that in law school, and ba.
They might have. You never know. I don't remember, but joking aside, it's just these three dissenters are just like rubber stamp parrots every single time.
But this is a big deal. This really gives President Trump another weapon to fight these people coming into the country, because people sit here and they're like, they come here as asylum seekers, even though you're supposed to seek asylum in the first country you pass through, right? Exactly. They don't. They pass through and they come to the United States and we let them in, and then they have a baby, and now we can't deport any of them because this 18-month-old is now a citizen, so the parents have to stay here to take care of the 18-month-old. You can't send the 18-month-old home with the parents for some weird reason.
And as you just said, it's all about characterizations. So people like me, grounded in law and legal analysis, I have to sit there and watch people, lecturing me about, every single one of these people is facing persecution. Okay, the truth is it's on a continuum, okay? Some might be and might have legitimate claims. Many, possibly the majority, aren't, etc. So they create these narratives because, just go to the punchline, they just want the people in here for other reasons, political type reasons, and so they will just bend everything backwards. But there's a very important editorial real quick, and that is that, when district courts, ruled against Trump, all of the pundits and the experts got all excited and gleeful and ecstatic. And it's, and then when this happens today, there's no accountability. They rarely even talk about it, hardly even cover it, and they just move on to the next criticism of Trump. So it behooves us, honestly, to calmly say, you see that? A lot of these district courts were totally wrong. Okay, the Supreme Court just shot them down. And again, we've discussed many, many times. When you don't have the White House or the Senate or the House, you go running to district courts, and they use that nationwide injunction stuff, which is, rulings that affect the entire United States of America, which is crazy. And the point is, the courts of appeal and the Supreme Court have supported executive authority where warranted, and there really should be some media accountability for all of those people who just jumped right on the whole anti-Trump, derangement bandwagons.
Yeah, and on a whole different note, we have the one national judge, the injunction that Trump can't put in any of his election security things, steps that he wanted to do because of his executive order, and so one judge, and we have that other Judge Sparkles. Yep. Was that Judge Sparkles?
Sparkle, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. What was Sparkles? Whatever. It's not the name of the judge.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When you give your kid a name of Sparkle or Sparkles, that kid is going to be wearing a name tag for the rest of his or her life, because there should not be a judge named Judge Sparkle. I'm sorry, that's just the way
but what about the guy in my high school class, Brian Dude, Deude? Oh my God.
Well, there's a lot to be said for women who don't change their names, but that's an entirely different topic.
Different seminar, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Okay, so this kind of goes hand in hand with the ruling that the asylum seekers standing in Mexico have not arrived in the United States, because Alito went after Justices Jackson and Sotomayor, saying, I believe that you both on several occasions have used the phrase arriving at, because there was a difference between arriving in and arriving at. So if you're standing in Mexico and you're at the border, you're not in the United States. They really had to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, what is that, third grade English?
Yeah, this is crazy, and it's at the Supreme Court. But then again,
but again, when one of my cousins, who's very smart, said, when anger and emotions start kicking in, they can easily override logic and common sense. That's what you're seeing left and right. So it's like Alice in Wonderland: up is down, down is up. Oh, you haven't crossed the border, so you're not in the United States yet. Is that really that complicated?
Well, to be fair, Jackson doesn't know what a woman is, so.
And she apparently doesn't know what a border is either, so it's just crazy town. It's crazy town. And again, I'll repeat that point, which is, they show a little bit of sore loser type of behavior, because very often, again, without getting in the weeds, to use the phrase you used, if they're wrong on the law, what are you going to do? I mean, there's an old saying among lawyers, if you have the law, talk about the law. If you have the facts, talk about the facts. If you have neither one, then just make stuff up. And the point is, very often they are checkmated. They are checkmated, Mary, on the law, and they turn around with these ridiculous notions. Arriving in all of a sudden now is arriving at. Well, that's a ridiculous mixture of prepositions.
Well, and that's why lawyers make such good politicians. Lastly, the Supreme Court ruled again 6-3 that the Trump administration can finally end temporary protected status for Haitians and Syrians. Finally. And temporary means temporary. Some of these people have been here for 20 years temporarily.
There we go, right back to the dictionary, the lexicon, temporary. But again, I see it more globally in terms of the idea that the Supreme Court is upholding executive authority where warranted. People like Alan Dershowitz, who, is traditionally somewhat liberally oriented his whole life, but as a constitutional law proposition, explains all the time that, the powers of the presidency and the executive branch per the Constitution are quite broad and quite wide, and they provide a lot of leeway, particularly in things like military, immigration, and the border enforcement, of course. And the left, in the last few years, when the history books are written, they just had colossal meltdowns claiming he couldn't do things when they were absolutely dead wrong. And the point is, Today's rulings demonstrate that. And then, of course, the other sore loser point is, as opposed to, okay, you have two hypotheticals from the left. Answer one, oh, gee, I guess those district courts were wrong. Okay, I will concede that. You'll never hear that in a million years anywhere. Versus two, the Supreme Court's illegitimate and indeed corrupt, and we need to add 18 more seats.
Yep. And they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And Congress just left for 2 weeks because they're not going to pass the SAFE Act. It's not going to happen. John Thune doesn't want it to happen. He is going to make sure it does not happen because, to your point, he hates Trump. And so he's just sour graping it. And he is going to punish Trump and all of Americans while he's at it. And then he doesn't care because he got his, and he's going to say, toodles on his way out the door as Washington, D.C. crumbles behind him.
Totally agree with that. You're 100% right. Again, I don't think we've ever seen, not to be melodramatic, this level of just rationalization because of the hatred of a politician. I've just never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I don't understand why they hate him so much. They used to love him, but they just hate him.
Yeah, I don't understand that either, honestly. It's funny you say that because that's really a fascinating question to ponder. I don't see why they really just detest the guy. It's just amazing to watch.
Well, Dave Chappelle put it best when he did a special a couple years ago, and he said the reason they hate Donald Trump so much is because he's the guy who's behind the gates in the big house at the party, and every now and then he comes to the gates and tells you what they're doing inside the big house at the party.
Yeah, and the other thing, honestly, is that it just made them ripping mad because they thought they had the absolute monopoly on the arguments about, the working people and the working class. And Donald Trump connects with working people 10 times better than they ever did in their wildest dreams.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So besides, what else are we missing as far as rulings coming down?
No, I think we covered it. You had the two immigration cases, the border entry crossing, the temporary protected status, and then you had the Hawaii gun case, again upholding, the Second Amendment. I think those were the only three today. And then just back to birthright, because I'm kind of fixated on it. You just can't wait to see how this comes out. I mean, apropos of our discussion right now, you're going to see probably 6-3. You'll see Sotomayor and Kagan, and the third one, Jackson, dissenting. But I think, as I told you before, I think, it's interesting because they turn around and they say, if you're born here, you're a citizen, that's it, case closed. That's not true at all. If you're born here as the offspring of two diplomats, for example, there's a federal statute that says you're not a United States citizen. If you're born here, and this kind of little, not all that relevant, but if your parents are here as part of some type of anti-U.S. invasion, you're not a citizen. So I think the Supreme Court, I'm going to my crystal ball, and I've been right over the last 18 months. I think they're going to turn around and say that Congress could add to those exceptions that are just laid out an exception that says if the parents broke the law to come into the United States, the child is not a citizen. But they're going to say Congress would need to do that. We can't do it. And the President of the United States can't, and the President can't do it by executive order. So they'll invalidate his executive order. CNN and the others will, hysterically say, he lost, you see that, and they probably will gloss over, if I'm right, that the court says that Congress can do it. But as you've said many times, Congress doesn't often do things.
No, they take more vacation. It's insane how much vacation they take. And then they take all of August off because it's hot. Well, you have air conditioning in the Capitol, so I'm not quite sure what the problem is.
No, I totally agree with that, and it is crazy town. The approval levels of Congress are what? I mean, I don't remember the number, but boy, it's low. Man.
I think at-home root canal is more popular than Congress. That and gas station sushi.
Gas station sushi, I like that.
Doug Burns, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. You can catch him. You're coming up on N2 shortly, aren't you?
Yeah, 2 o'clock, N2.
All right, catch him on N2 at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You too, Mary. Good to talk to you. Take care.
Yeah, really appreciate you. You want to comment? 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210, or tag me in a post on X at Mary Walter Radio. No S. That's coming up on 1210 WPHT.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415. Or find them online at retirereadyfg.com and get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com. See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
It's that time of year to address some of those nagging projects around the house you've been putting off. If replacing your home's old, drafty windows and doors is on your to-do list, then you need to call my good friends at Guida Door and Window. Guida will help you get your project started with 20% off all windows and doors and letting you start your project today with no money out of pocket. And once your new high-quality windows and doors have been expertly installed, you'll have up to 3 full years to pay them off interest-free. So you'll be able to start enjoying all the benefits of new energy-efficient windows and doors, including increased comfort level of your home and lowered monthly energy bills, while having the luxury of paying off your project interest-free for up to 36 months. This offer is for a limited time only. Restrictions apply. For full details, call Guida today to schedule a free, no-obligation in-home estimate at 877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's GoGuida.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
All right. We were just talking to Doug Burns, former federal prosecutor, Newsmax contributor, and we were talking about the rulings that just came down from the Supreme Court. Most notably, though, the birthright citizenship case did not come down, and we all think we know how it's going to go, how the ruling is going to be, which is not going to stop, of course, the birther tourism that keeps coming. China, especially, you watch 20 years from now, China is going to have a large number of nationals, Chinese nationals, who are beholden to China, not the jurisdiction of the United States, who were born here, and they're going to come back when they're 18 years old, and they're going to start voting in our elections. You watch. And hopefully I am going to be on my way to being dead by then. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Let's go to Tom from Yardley. Tom, welcome. You're on the Dom Giordano Show. Hi.
Hi, from your lips to God's ears. Did you ever think you'd have to say such ridiculous things about Trump in order to get a paycheck? Like, it's pretty embarrassing, right?
Well, you know, it's also really embarrassing that you dialed a radio station, sat on hold through an entire break just to say that, which is kind of really embarrassing. That's the best thing. The best thing you're going to do, because clearly you're not working. So the highlight of your day is calling a radio station and making a dumb remark and waiting on hold to do it. If you had some facts or you had something adult or cogent to say, that would be a different story. But clearly you don't. Clearly you're not that bright. And so I'm really not the sad one here. I think it's you. But you're dismissed now. Goodbye. And you can go put some, a little ice on that butt that I just spanked. There you go. Boom. God, I hate stupid people. And they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I bet you that's the same guy who called in, 2 days ago? He called in 2 days ago, and he's just not that smart. On the other hand, though, stupid people who call in and do stuff like that are really, really fun at the same time.
I got to answer you, Mary, really quick, because you're beautiful inside and out, and you handle yourself very, very well. And the trolls on Twitter who are keyboard warriors or they're down in their mother's basement need to grow up. I'm sorry.
Well, you're sweet, but you know what? I just keep telling them I do not give anyone who's afraid to show their face any credit. If you don't have the guts to show your face and take ownership of your comments, then you're a coward. Bye-bye. Absolutely. And I'm done. So luckily, 8th grade prepared me for America in 2026.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh, you're a sweetie. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. You're a real sweetie.
Sure.
Okay. I've got some good news for you. A lawn company, so they did the fight on the White House lawn, right? They did the fight on the White House lawn. And the grass is just a mess. This is why my dad, when I was a kid, my father would have a fit if we wanted to put up a cardboard box and put it on the lawn and, have it there for a couple of days or a tent or something so we could have a clubhouse. My father you're going to kill the lawn. He would have, we weren't allowed to do it. Well, they killed the lawn. But you know what? Grass is a weed and it always comes back. Well, an Ohio-based lawn company, I think you've heard of it, Scott's Miracle-Gro. The owner is a longtime Trump supporter, and it's a private lawn company, and he is donating $1 million to fix the White House South lawn after the UFC Freedom 250 event this past weekend. Isn't that nice? It is really yellow. It's kind of a mess. Grass on the ellipse was also damaged during the fight, but it's unclear whether the donation will include restoring this portion. They're donating a combination of monetary and product support to the National Park Service. And the plan is to resod the South lawn using a special blend of turf grass that was chosen by President Trump, of course, because in between negotiating peace in the Middle East, he has time to pick out the grass for the South lawn, and somehow he does it. He chose a blend of tall fescues and Kentucky bluegrass. We have whatever grows, and we'll ever survive a drought if we have one. That's what we got on our lawn. That's it. The White House grounds are managed by the National Park Service, so Scott's Miracle-Gro is structuring their contribution as a philanthropic donation to the National Park Service, which is smart. Now, prior to the fight, the organizers, Dana White and company, expected that the grass would be destroyed, so they allocated over $700,000 to replace the grass. So it's unclear how that's going to work, if the UFC is still going to be paying for any portion of the repairs to the South Lawn or the Ellipse, or they're going to combine it with the Scotts Miracle-Gro stuff or whatever. But the restoration will occur in phases over the next year, and the company expects the process to be finished by the spring of 2027. And I'm sure, I guarantee you, mark my words, that some leftist lunatic is going to try to climb the wall to dump acid on the lawn, to try to kill it because it's Trump. Guarantee it. Actually, also, they're looking for some chick who was seen doing something at the reflecting pool a couple of days ago, and they found a slit there where she was. So they have pictures of her, so they're trying to find her. So that's online. You can find that if you look. So, all right, quick break, and then we're back with more on the Dom Giordano Show.
This weather won't last forever. Soon summer will be here, and you'll go from always shivering to always sweating. And if your AC barely made it through last summer, Horizon Cooling's here to fix any HVAC issue now. And for a limited time, get a precision tune-up for just $79. But if you're in need of a new system, save big with up to $2,000 in free comfort upgrades plus 0% interest financing. So start now and avoid getting stuck with season passes to Sweatland. Book horizonservices.com today.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Looking for an auto repair shop you can actually trust? McCullough's Auto Repair has been serving Delco since 1999. They believe honesty, fairness, and friendly service still matter. Chuck and Ralph run the place. No matter your car's issue, they'll explain it in plain English and help you decide what really needs to be done now and what can wait. Chuck's motto is, I'll never steer you wrong. Call McCullough's at 610-446-1230 and ask for Chuck or Ralph, or visit McCulloughsAutorepair.com.
Babbel proudly presents the Sheep Cheese Fiasco.
Cute market. Ooh, cheese. Let's get cheese. Cheese, cheese, cheese. Hola. Quiero una oveja pequeñita.
¿Una oveja pequeñita?
Sí.
Bueno, pues tengo como 20.
Oh, no. Oh, but they're cute.
Don't let your Spanish fool you. Avoid bringing home the farm with Babbel, the award-winning language learning app.
Can you make us some cheese, please? Oh, cheese. You're not cheese.
Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will have you speaking conversationally in as little as 3 weeks.
Yes. Oh, you're so sweet.
Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's 50% off at BABBEL.com.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. They still gave me a medal. I don't want a reward for doing. I want a reward for dominating. Like Daily Prize Match on Bet365. I play for free and win real rewards, like up to $5,000 in cash weekly. Unlike that joker in denim. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply.
Weather sponsored by American Heritage Credit Union.
Partly sunny conditions continue through the afternoon. It'll be hot but not humid with a high of around 87. For tonight, becoming more humid, partly cloudy. There will be a chance for a shower overnight with a low 70 for the city, a bit cooler in the suburbs. And then for Friday, partly sunny. It'll be humid with a high again around 87.
With American Heritage Credit Union, you can enjoy a 24-month certificate at 4% APY. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/savings to learn more. Insured by the NCUA. Additional share insurance provided by ESI. Not a member? Join today.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
Okay. Let's talk about something other than politics, shall we? A little break. I mean, we're heading into the weekend. Let's do something other than, we're going to become socialists, etc. We'll do some more of that later. But I found something I think it's interesting. And it is a survey from Kick Resume, which is an AI-based career platform. And they asked working professionals if they regret their college degree. They got responses from more than 1,000 professionals globally. And it's, of course, it's right on the heels of graduation when all these people are, graduated from college and just a couple weeks ago. And here's what they said. 52% of the respondents say that they have some level of regret about their college degree. Now, within that group, 29% regret getting their degree entirely. 23% have slight regret. 21% wish they had chosen a different subject. 55% that a college diploma is becoming less important within their own industry. So we're going to go through this, but I want your opinions on this. 855-839-1210. 855-839-1210. Or you can tag me in a post on X at Mary Walter Radio. All right? So I will tell you, I was a communications major and German because I grew up speaking German and English. So I figured, all right, I'm going to take German. It's going to be super easy, gimme, right? It's just going to be it's an add-on. It's super easy. But I was a big dummy. Freshman year, you had to take a language. So freshman year, I took German and I aced the test. I tested out. I was such a dummy. I should have just totally bagged the test, failed it, or gotten a really low grade in it. And then it would have been super easy. So instead, I found myself studying, I kid you not, medieval German literature in my professor's office with her.
Wow.
I know. That's what I'm such an idiot because I had to prove how well I could speak German that I was just like, damn it. I'm such an idiot.
You just want to show off your skills. You're a cocky 18-year-old. It's like, yeah, I can speak German. I'll show you.
Exactly right.
Shown you.
It's exactly what happened. Medieval German and German for business, because I was going to go to Germany and work in business. I have no idea why, but there weren't any courses for me to take. So yeah, that's what I did. So I don't know whether you guys got degrees because there was a point in time when to do this job, to work in radio, you needed a college degree. When you look back on that now, I'm like, those were stupid times.
Oh, I think that every day. I guess I have some regret about getting my degree. I mean, I could have worked here with any degree, I feel like. No offense, but it's like, it just, I've learned so much more on the job than I did in school. And I feel like you only go to school now, if anything, just to show, like, hey, I'm not a moron. I wasn't a moron for 4 years. You can hire me. That's all a degree is now.
Right.
Yep.
And what you really need is the connections, that you make throughout college. And I just feel like I didn't get that part.
Same here. Same with me.
So that's where my regret comes in. I like what I do. I like being in this field. That's where my regret comes in a little bit with this.
Yeah, I'm same with me, Mary. I think the experience, hands-on experience, because you can't get that on a piece of paper or book knowledge. You have to get a lot of these stations and networks or TV station, what have you. They're going to accept the degree absolutely but that's only one piece of it. You need years of experience, and so I think that I had some regrets, but the hands-on experience over the past several years was a big payoff, and the networking as well too paid off as well.
Yeah. See, so you're both going to hate me. So I went to college for and I didn't have a major for the first 2 years, and my father was, and I was like every major, I just bounced around, and my father was like, okay, sweetheart, you got to buckle down. You got to pick something. So because I found a lot of different things interesting. So I picked communications. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be a communications major. And I did not do the radio station because, as we all know, they were a bunch of dorks. Right? Am I wrong? I mean, it's just true, right? Like everybody who was never asked to the prom, right, is in radio, your present company included. And so I didn't do that. And we didn't really have a TV studio. Like, it wasn't much at all. It wasn't like it is today, right? So I learned how to, I just ran leadership conferences for different groups on campus, and I did all that kind of stuff, public speaking and putting together programs and all that. And I just fell into radio. Like, I did not carry a career path to here, but I will say I did the networking for Villanova grads is amazing. I will say it's a strong alumni community. I had no clue about that when I chose Villanova. I had no idea. I just looked into that. But I will say you also learn how to kind of live on your own, which I think is really useful for a lot of young people. Mm-hmm. You got to do your own laundry. Yep. Unless, of course, mommy comes and picks it up and does it for you, which I'm sure a lot of parents do. You have to arrive to class on time. You've got to learn how to manage your time. And I think there's a lot of life skills that you learn that are super important in those 4 years.
I agree, because I just going to a state school. I went to Bloomsburg University. Mm-hmm. And you see very early on, like, which kids are not going to make it to the end of that year. Maybe even to the end of that first semester, just by the way. It's like, oh, I don't need to go to class. You know, I got 3 skips, and they're using all 3 in the first 2 weeks, and then you go maybe visit their room, and their room looks like a closed bomb went off, so to speak. And yeah, I do think it does kind of teach you those things. Like, you got to be your number one advocate here. Mommy and daddy aren't here anymore. You got to be your number one advocate, and that's why I still think the college experience as a whole is definitely worth it. You know, I loved every second of it. It's just, yeah. Is there a slight regret with my degree? A little bit, but yeah, but I do think, you know, all the stuff that happened along the way was definitely worth it.
Yeah, you could skip as many times as you wanted.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you could skip as many times as you wanted.
No
because
way.
If you fail, that's on you.
Yeah. Well, I had other teachers like, yeah, if you miss, 2-3 classes, like everything after that, you're moving down a letter grade.
I didn't skip.
So that's where people would, really get hurt. And but it's the same people that weren't going to class anyway, so they're getting an F either way.
Yeah, well, I did have one priest who took attendance. Father A.B. Laser. They called him A.B. because you got an A or you got a B. He taught the Old Testament.
Wow.
And he was a really nice guy. He was also the basketball chaplain, so you had to take him during basketball season in the spring. It was great because he was never there. So only seniors could get into his class. And he was great because I had him in the morning. He would always wait until like half hour into class when everybody slid in late, and then he would take attendance.
Oh, what a guy.
I know. Father Laser was the best. Anyway, 855-839-1210. Do you regret your college degree? And in what way? Like I do, I kind of wish I had chosen a different subject. I kind of wish I had been more prepared and had more direction when I went into college. So I fall into that 21% that wishes they had chosen a different subject. 52% said they have some level of regret about their college degree altogether. 29% regret the degree entirely. 23% have a slight regret, and 21% wish they had chosen a different subject. So that's where I am. I'm in that 21%.
I'm not. Because I wanted to get into this field since I was a kid, literally since I was a kid, and I find it fascinating to this day. And degree, going through all of the trials and tribulations, but I look back on it, and I had a blast then. I'm having a blast now, and working hard at it, and it's great.
Wow, look who's sucking up to the boss. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not sucking up.
I mean, I don't know many people who say, I don't know how many people say, I want to get into radio so that I have to take a second job to eat.
Well, I am doing a second job, so.
There you go.
20% said their degree will never financially feel worth it.
Yep.
Okay. True. That is true.
For those who did not finish, the primary reason for 26% of them was financial strain. They couldn't afford to stay. 23% left said, I got a job opportunity, I'm taking it. 16% switched fields, so they dropped out of college, or 16% dropped away for mental health reasons. Now, those who finished and found work, 28% said the degree paid off within 2 to 5 years. I got to think about that because I paid off my student loan for 10. So for a long time, I had a student loan, rent, and a car payment. those were the days when I didn't have any furniture and I was sleeping on the floor with the bank teller, who was the only person I knew in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, God.
Doesn't that sound like the beginning of a Forensics File episode?
A little bit, yeah.
Right? We wound up being in each other's weddings, and we're still friends to this day. It all worked out. All right, if you want to jump in, 855-839-1210. There's more to this. We'll get into that coming up. And I'm just curious, because I think it's finally okay now. We've gotten to that point in this country where it's okay to look at your kids and go, you know what, this one, I'm not paying for a college education. This one needs to take the L. You're not made for college. And in all honesty, we're at that point now where we can admit that if you learn a trade and start making money as soon as you get out of high school, you are way ahead of the curve than the people who wind up going into, who's that? Who wind up going into, a quote unquote professional degree, or into being a lawyer, or into being a doctor, because they have to go postgraduate. Doctors especially don't start making money till they're like 35. And the reimbursements aren't worth it anymore unless you become some kind of surgeon. So they may be the smartest ones of all, the kids who look at that and go, yeah, it's not for me. All right, we'll talk about it. Take your calls coming up, 855-839-1210 on 1210 WPHT.
Now an important message from Joanne Small-Canella, president of Crash Proof Retirement.
Do you remember the promise that you made to yourself that if your retirement nest egg ever recovered from past market downturns, you would get off the stock market roller coaster? Well, that time has come, and that time is now. The markets have surged since pandemic lows, when most Americans dropped about 40% almost overnight. And now, once again, global unrest is making markets volatile. So don't forget that promise that you made to yourself. Get your money out of risky stocks and bonds and mutual funds. It's time. Keep that promise you made to yourself and your family. Crash-proof your future.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on Wednesday, July 22nd, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
A well-organized home isn't a luxury, it's a practical upgrade. Closet Factory designs and installs custom storage for closets, pantries, garages, and home offices, built to fit your space and your needs. You'll work with a designer, choose the look, and get professional installation, so the project stays simple and the results last. Start with a free design consultation at closetfactory.com. That's closetfactory.com.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. When we say we hope you're never the victim of a rideshare accident, we mean it. But if you should suffer a rideshare injury, we'll work quickly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. And we mean it when we say there are never any upfront fees, ever. And we only get paid when your case is over and you get paid. Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, You can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
And welcome back. All right, talking about a survey from kickresume.com, which is an AI-based career platform, for saying that 52% of professionals have regrets about their college degree. 855-839-1210. Let's go to Bluebell and say hello to Karen. How you doing? Happy Thursday, Karen.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. So do you regret that degree?
No, because I got an English degree in the early 80s, and I got hired by IBM because they had a training program. They didn't care what your major was. They just wanted you to be smart.
Okay, so what did you train to do?
And sales and marketing.
Okay.
And companies don't have those programs anymore. They cost too much.
Right. So did you enjoy sales? Was that something that paid off for you? And how long did you stay there?
I was there for 13 years, and then I went home to be with the kids. But no regrets. I enjoyed it immensely, and it was a big cultural thing. The softball games, the activities, all that kind of stuff that's no longer exists.
Yeah, because young people don't want to go out. They want to stay inside and have everything delivered to them. They're not the going out type. And I have a story about that as well. They don't. And I think COVID did a lot of that to them,
Yep.
There's that culture of doing stuff and getting together after work and hanging out. That kind of thing doesn't exist anymore. And they got rid of all the Christmas parties because of liabilities, and it's expensive. All that's gone.
Yep.
It's funny that you got a degree in sales because being a communications major, that's pretty much all I could get. And I was
an English major.
Right, but I'm saying for me as a communications major, that was one of the few jobs that was available that they were hiring for. And my father would not allow me to take a sales job. You're going to be working on commission. You could have gotten that job without a college degree. So I was not allowed to take a commission-based sales job. And at the time, I was like, okay, right? So I just did what they told me to do.
Yeah.
So,
well, my husband's been highly leveraged his entire career, and he's done very well.
Good. Well, that was smart. You picked a good one.
I did.
You're a good chooser. Karen, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much. Also, I just wanted to let you know in a totally different note. Where is it? What time is? Oh, my hit today is I will be on N2 Newsmax 2 at. I think this is a very, very long text. I hate when they send a text. It's just so long. 6:20, I believe. 6:20 today on N2. So that's where our friend Doug will be in just a couple minutes here. You just go to YouTube and you type in Newsmax 2 Live, and you can see Doug Burns at 2 o'clock, and you can see me there at 6:20 tonight. All right. So that's that. So some more on this this survey, because I found it fascinating. So those who finished and found work, again, I said 28% said the degree paid off within 2 to 5 years. 18% saw a return in less than 2 years. But 15% said it took longer than 6 to 10 years for the job to pay off. And I have to tell you, in this industry, working in radio for so long, it's such an up and down thing. You could be at one station, and everybody thinks like, well, you only work 3 hours a day. Yeah, because all this information just is in my head at all times. No, there's a lot of work involved in it. And for when working in radio for a lot of those years, I had another job. I had a second job, whether it was something I could do piecework at home, whether it was something that I had to go to an office and work, I did have another job. So working in radio, I would say it was more than a decade, and 8% reported having no financial costs associated with their degree at all. Science-based careers topped the list for the most regret. 71%. And this to me is wild. 71% of graduates in science-based degrees said they reported regretting it.
I would have thought it'd be the other way around.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But apparently, I guess maybe all of those people from China and India coming in are taking all the jobs. I don't know. Law graduates, 65%. I know someone who got, she's a perpetual student and got a law degree and never worked in law.
Wow.
Jeez.
She's a producer at Fox.
Oh,
never worked in law.
Good gig.
Very good. There you go.
Radio. And in education, people who got education degrees, 64% regret it. Which, you know what, I kind of get. God bless teachers. I mean, except for the crazy ones. You have no business being teachers. But the really good teachers, you know who I'm talking about. They have to deal with those insane parents. God bless you. I never had patience for stupid people, and as I've gotten older, that patience is non-existent. My bag of give a flying rat's butt is empty. The older I get, the less and less was in there, and now I have zero patience for stupid people. Like, there's no excuse for being dumb. There just isn't. Common sense stupidity, there's just no excuse for it. And teachers have to deal with that, and cops have to deal with that all the time. Doctors, I was talking to a doctor yesterday. He can, one of the people who you can get the weight loss drug from, right? The injection, because you don't, you're overweight and you got problems, so you need the injection. And he said at almost half of his patients will refuse to get on the scale. And he's like, I have to weigh you. This is part of getting a weight loss drug. I don't understand what the disconnect is here, because they don't want to know. He's like, well, I won't tell you. They're like, no, I don't want anyone to know how much I weigh. It's like, it's a weight loss drug. So could you imagine having to deal with people like that all day long? This is why I don't really deal with the public in general, because you don't know what you're going to get at all. And I think, you know what? I think under the science thing, I think a lot of doctors regret getting their degree because the industry has changed so much with the rise of corporate medicine. You don't own your practice anymore. It's owned by corporate or the big hospital corporations, and now you just work for the man. And so I think a lot of them may play into this number. Okay, lastly, we'll wrap this up. Work experience came on top as the thing that helped their careers the most, Henry.
Yep.
Work experience. After that, a combination of experience and education. Networking comes in at number 3. And only 6% said that holding the degree as a credential was the decisive factor in them getting a job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just got to keep plugging away then.
Exactly right.
This is why you got to go to everything you possibly can that's industry related.
Yep.
You really do. All right.
Well said.
On that note, more next hour coming up with Dom on the Dom Giordano Show. Not with him. He's back next week on 1210 WPHT.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Any appliance retailer can say they offer the lowest prices and claim they deliver the best customer experience. But how do they hold themselves accountable? At National Appliance Warehouse, we use Price Assure to guarantee we're honoring our lowest price promise. We'll expertly help you navigate over 100 brands on display to ensure you select the perfect appliances, treating you like friends or family throughout. And within 24 hours of our skilled professionals delivering and installing your appliances, a National Appliance Warehouse associate will call to make sure you're happy. If your other appliance retailer didn't do that, it might be time to switch to National Appliance Warehouse.
The 4th of July mega sale starts now at National Appliance Warehouse. Save 41% on select GE appliances. Browse an unmatched collection of GE, Cafe, GE Profile, and Monogram appliances. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
You know what I love? American-made products, baby. That's right. It's Rich Zioli. American-made products, and that's what you get from Emmons Roofing and Siding. Owens Corning shingles are made in New Jersey. Certainteed siding made right outside of Philly. Provia windows and doors handcrafted in Ohio. And because Emmons is platinum with Owens Corning, your roof comes with a lifetime workmanship warranty. That's accountability on American-made quality from an American company right in our backyard. EmmonsRoofing.com. EmmonsRoofing.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000.
Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief took care of Eric's problem.
And now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. The Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the makers of a famous weed killer. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy in Washington.
The case involved a man who won $1 million lawsuit in state court, alleging that Monsanto violated Missouri law by failing to warn on the label that the weed killer Roundup might cause cancer. Monsanto denies that its product is dangerous and points to the EPA's approval of its label. The High Court ruled 7-2 in favor of the company, finding that federal law governs the labeling and preempts the state court claim. The ruling did not fall along the court's traditional ideological lines, with liberal Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson being joined in her dissent by conservative Neil Gorsuch.
The Supreme Court,
Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
The Supreme Court deals blows to immigrants fleeing violence and danger, seeking safety in the U.S. Conservative majorities say the government can keep asylum seekers from entering the U.S. and can cancel the temporary protected status granted to Haitians and Syrians. ABC's Devin Dwyer.
Trump can basically shut the doors at ports of entry along the border to prevent asylum seekers from even approaching a border agent to file an asylum claim. And that, to many immigration advocates and asylum seeker advocates, is a really disappointing and devastating decision given the United States' history with respect to the Jews.
In a dissent, Justice Sotomayor invoked the history of the MS St. Louis from World War II, when European Jews sailed across the Atlantic seeking safety in the U.S., only to be turned away and sent back where most were killed in the Holocaust. Search and rescue teams from Los Angeles and Virginia are headed to Venezuela after deadly earthquakes overnight. At least 188 people are dead, nearly 1,000 others injured. The Federal Reserve's primary inflation gauge shows that as of last month, inflation accelerated 4.1% over May of last year. The Fed's goal for lowering interest rates is 2%. You're listening to ABC News.
When the doctor informed me that I had to be transplanted, I froze. I was in shock.
Mr. Gatling was on dialysis. He had end-stage kidney failure. Transplants are some of the most complex procedures in medicine.
I received a kidney transplant at Virtual Health.
We are the only transplant center in South Jersey.
I can stay in my own backyard. I thank them for keeping me alive.
Virtua Health, the only transplant center in South Jersey. Here for good. Learn more at virtua.org.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
You know, one thing I love about this job is that whenever the music comes on and they turn my microphone on, Henry says to me, "You're hot." I'm like, "Thank you."
Hey now.
Just thought I'd start every segment off with a bang, you know?
Stalker comes running in. "Don't call HR." So, ladies, if you're feeling down, get a job in radio. When they turn your microphone on, they go, "You're hot." Or there are some who just say, "Mike's hot." And I'm like, damn it.
That's what I say.
All right. Let's get back to the whole thing that's going on with the socialists, etc. And because this is, and you're gonna hear this over and over and over again. We're gonna keep hearing about how this is happening. I keep finding more and more sound for this, more and more theories on this, and more warnings that are going off, and we have to pay attention to the warnings. Now, I want to start with Donald Trump here. This is cut 4. This is his reaction to the rise of the socialists, Democratic socialists. And he was talking about it yesterday, and I think he nails it. This is what he has to say.
Well, they're going radical left. They're going really, you talk about the Democrat socialists. It's really communist. These people. I watched that woman last night. That's not a socialist. I know socialists. That woman is a communist. And, what they don't say is that I was 16-0 last night. But mine were a little more boring, a little more mainstream. They were Republican conservatives. But we were 16-0. And if you look over the last 2.5 years, we're about 347 and just about 0. That's pretty good. But nobody writes that. But he picked 3. They won. They beat a guy named Dan Goldman, who's, a loser. He was one of my prosecutors, one of my many prosecutors that they used on me. Dan Goldman, not a good prosecutor, fortunately, but he's now looking for a job. I was very surprised to see, because he's a pretty liberal guy. When they go more liberal than Dan Goldman, they're really into Never Land.
Does this tell you that the Democratic Party's 2028 nominee will likely be, or could likely be, a Democratic socialist?
Well, it should make it easier for Republicans, because most of the nation is composed of sane people. They don't want to... if you look throughout history, go back thousands of years, you've always had socialism and communism by different names. It's never ever worked. It's not going to work this time either. Yeah.
No idea where that music was coming from. It was weird because he was in the Oval with Rutte, the head of the UN. And I was like, where's that music coming from? Because it's not outside noise. Because the Oval the walls are like crazy thick and the windows are crazy thick. And so you don't hear the outside noise. So I'm like, well, it's not like an ambulance going by the White House because you wouldn't hear it in there. So I don't know what that music was. All right. So we were talking earlier about how the vote, especially in New York, was due to overall, a lot of it, low voter turnout. And how do we get people to vote? About 17% of Democrat voters citywide actually voted. And the woman he was talking about is Avila Chevalier. She got about 33,000 votes out of 449,000 active voters. That's it, 33,000. And they're all white, young, and college educated. So this is the problem. And a lot of them are like social workers and social activists and this and that. A lot of them are directionless. And I know that a social worker is not directionless. If you go to college and you spend that kind of money on a social worker degree from Columbia, I'm sorry, but that's one of those people who should say they regret their degree, because you don't need a degree from Columbia to be a social worker. It's ridiculous. Steve Ratner is an economic analyst, and he posted on X that election data showed college-educated non-Hispanic voters were much more likely to vote for her. He said last night's wins for Mamdani-backed candidates were driven by young college grads who are at odds with the Democrat Party's traditional working class and minority base. So think about it. A lot of their policies really aren't for the working class. because the working class usually does worse under Democrats because of their policies. So think of like, remember when they did the whole gig economy thing, when they went after quote unquote gig workers, people who were like delivering for DoorDash on the side or driving Lyft or Uber or that kind of thing. And they excuse me. They said you can't do that unless you register as a business and all this other stuff. And they killed it. And because all of the regulations that they put on gig economy workers drove up the price because they had to pay filing fees and all this other stuff. They drove up the price, and so that gets passed on to you. So now if you want your $9 latte from Starbucks delivered by DoorDash, suddenly you have a $30 cup of coffee. Excuse me. Hold on. I had some peanuts when I was on break. I was hungry and wanted to get a little protein, so I had some nuts. And there's one stuck. Anyway, so there is, again, this is people voting for their own demise. It's like when I saw the rabbis who were there legitimizing Mamdani. I'm like, suicidal empathy, dude. Gad Saad's right. Suicidal empathy. You're voting for, it's the sheep voting for the wolf. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. The district is 52% Hispanic, 23% Black. Roughly 28% of residents have a college degree, and the typical household income is about $52,000 a year. But she swept the white voters there, not the Hispanic voters, not the Black voters. And white residents only represent 15% of the district, but they went out and they voted. And this just goes to show, like, I live in a town that has historically been deep red. Now, with the influx of New Yorkers, it's becoming less red. But people still sit around just assuming that, oh, well, I know how the election's going to go. There's no point for me to go and vote. And then they're shocked when something happens or something gets passed that they don't like. I'm like, well, did you vote? No, but. And I'm like, well, there's no but. If you don't vote, you can't complain about the outcome of the vote because you did not participate. It's like complaining about the score of a baseball game in which you did not play. No, I'm sorry. You're not allowed to complain. I have an uncle who never voted, and he used to complain all the time about politics. And I used to tell him that. He goes, well, I have a right to complain. And I said, I have a right to not listen to you complain. So guess we're at an impasse. She is a community organizer and a doctoral candidate. So that says to me that she doesn't have a job. She's a professional student working on her doctorate who on the side is a community organizer. So she doesn't make any money. So she understands nothing about finances. She understands nothing about taxes. She understands nothing about budgeting. But none of that matters if you're just going to take the money from other people and give it to people you like. Like that's what she thinks her job is. That's what she's going to do. That's it. And that's why in New York, they promise them everything. We're going to do this and we're going to fight. But they never get into the specifics because they don't know the specifics because they don't know how. We have very uneducated people, but this is where the term useful idiots comes in. It's the communist playbook. I'm telling you, watch what's happening. Just pay mild attention to what's happening. It's exactly what they're doing. The 70th district, known as Black Harlem, she got 7,700 votes and 5,500 votes for the Hispanics. So, it's what we've known all along. White liberal women are the bane of my existence. And they are responsible for the majority of problems in this country when it comes to politics. Sorry, but they are. If we could figure out a way to keep white liberal women from voting, it would be fantastic. But to their credit, they can outvote. So if you don't, you can't really complain about them. So I'm just going to sit on that and own it. All right. I thought this was really great. This is Mike Johnson. And he's highlighting the dichotomy between what we're seeing with what's happening in these votes, especially in New York and these other areas where they voted in the communists, the socialists they voted them in. And the people coming to this country, some from socialist countries, some from these countries that they hold up like Sweden and Denmark, the Nordic countries, we want to be like them. And I'm like, well, awesome. They're not socialist. So pick again, but coming to this country and just being wowed by America and just so loving, unabashedly, openly loving the freedom we have here. I think Mike Johnson makes a really impassioned speech here about the two. It's cut 6, guys.
What a split screen we're seeing. Right now, we're triumphantly hosting the World Cup games all around the country. And we're seeing people from different countries come and get a little taste of America, a little taste of freedom, of our culture and our society, and they appreciate it so much more than these socialists running for Congress. Fans across the country are truly enjoying our world-class facilities and the incredible atmosphere on the field and off the field. Thanks to social media, we're seeing a lot of these. This has been encouraging to see. The visitors appreciate what we have. Dutch travelers are in all Buc-ee's. German players took a midnight trip to the Waffle House. It was the greatest thing they've ever seen. English fans are roaming the Everglades. Japanese tourists marveling over free chips and salsa at a Mexican restaurant in Texas. Don't forget your blessings. People from Europe and Latin America, many countries around the world, many of whom, here's the key, they grew up under repressive state-controlled economies. They've never known freedom. They've never known these kinds of things. And they're seeing them for themselves, the genius of America's system. A system that rewards risk takers and entrepreneurs and job creators and innovators and people who create jobs for others and expand the economy and opportunity and broaden the pathway out of poverty for more people. That's what the Republicans stand for. That's what French Hill fought for in the housing bill, to give more people a chance, to restore the American dream. That's what we promised to the voters, and that's what we are delivering. The irony is, and it is a sad irony, and I'm so disturbed this morning. Y'all know me, I'm a happy warrior. I like to be optimistic and happy. This is a very disturbing trend. Visitors around the world marvel at what our free system of free enterprise has built, while rising socialist, Marxist, Democrat candidates are trying to tear the system down.
The line there that I love the most is don't forget your blessings. But we have raised a generation of entitled little whiny pain in the butts. Not all of them. I do have some hope. There is a good number of Gen X that has had enough and and the pendulum swing the other way. But you see entitlement from so many people, grown adults, who are just so entitled, like, excuse me, because you want to get around them, and they're like, walk around me, and they call you a name. They're just rude, entitled. The whole world revolves around them. I don't know if we blame it on COVID. I don't know if we blame it on lack of parenting. I don't know what it is, but I thought it was just such a great, I don't know. I just really liked what he had to say there, and I thought it was really super uplifting. And since news is usually bad and depressing, and we're talking about the rise of socialism and praying to God that someone somewhere along the line stops it, and it may have to be you. And, I just thought it was a nice message. All right. Let's talk about the anxiety rising on the left. Actually, let's take a quick break. Because you know what? Do you know what we have to do here? It is time for Dom's.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Yay!
Yeah, Mary, it's that time of day. Going into this 2:15 break here, we played Dom's Money Melody for a wonderful prize of a copy of Scott Jennings' book, A Revolution of Common Sense, How Donald Trump Stormed Washington and Fought for Western Civilization. So on this day in 1983, the Police scored their fourth, UK #1 album with Synchronicity. It also top number one in the US charts as well. So I'm going to play you a cover of a Police song today, Every Breath You Take. I want to know who this cover artist is here covering it. And this artist, I should say, isn't really known for his singing, more so his acting. As a matter of fact, this clip I'm about to play you is from the show Ally McBeal, in which this actor was the season 4 love interest of one Ally McBeal.
I know who it is.
You know who it is? Don't say it.
I know who it is.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Can I win?
Call in. You got to call in. Lines are blocked right now, but in a few seconds they'll be open. So
that would be hilarious if I'm calling in.
So
see what happens.
Yeah, I want to know who this actor is, who later went on to be one of the most successful actors of all time in terms of his movies grossing money. His movies in which he's been the lead in have grossed over $14.3 billion. And fun fact, at his wedding to his wife Susan, Sting performed Every Breath You Take. So I want to know who this is covering Every Breath You Take. Want to know who this wildly successful actor is covering The Police? 855-839-1210.
Doesn't sound like who I thought it was.
I think you know who you strike me as someone who's maybe seen the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you probably know who this is, honestly.
But it doesn't sound like that person.
It doesn't. You wouldn't think it sounds like this person, but it is. It is that person.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see if I'm right. I didn't call in, by the way, because that's fine. You'd probably tell me I can't win, and that would make me sad.
It would have been me.
Yeah. All right. Let's start the break, see who else can get it.
All right.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, and a member FDIC.
Summer is here, and so are the summer specials at Suburban Marble and Granite. Now is the perfect time to transform your home with premium stone and quality craftsmanship at up to 50% off. As they bring in more inventory, select styles and materials are available at incredible savings while supplies last. Don't miss this opportunity to upgrade your kitchen, bathroom, outdoor space, or custom project with stunning stone and expert installation. Take advantage of these limited time savings before they're gone. Suburban Marble and Granite. Endless possibilities, spectacular results. Visit suburbanmarble.com today.
Prioritize yourself and make your dream of an attractive, healthy smile a reality at PI Dental Center. The professionals at PI Dental have been transforming patients' smiles for over 38 years. Board-certified specialists, Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, perform complex dental makeovers with their Teeth in a Day protocol, where dental implants are placed and restored with fixed teeth in just one day. It's time to invest in yourself. For a smile that's monumental, trust PI Dental. Visit PIDentalCenter.com.
Bring on the fun and bring home a new Honda with a great deal on your favorite Honda vehicles. And finally, take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2026 KBB.com best value brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.49% APR on the 2026 HR-V.
Visit Piazza Hyundai of Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, or Springfield today.
See dealer for financing details. Based on 2026 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit KBB.com for more information.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Pet parents, there are many sources to buy your pet food these days, but at Dogs and Cats Rule, we take special care in selecting our brands based on quality of ingredients, company transparency, and science-based nutrition. Coming into a Dogs and Cats Rule store with a dietary issue, we can help select the proper food. The best part of the visit is the shopping experience. That's Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 locations. For information online, visit dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
When their world isn't safe, they need someone to notice, to wonder and worry, to be their voice. If you suspect child abuse in any way, report it. You can be their hero. Your call can change their world.
Report suspected abuse by calling 1-800-932-0313
or visit keepkidsafe.pa.gov for more information. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
PDQ POS is the MVP in point-of-sale solutions. Easy to use with the best support in the industry, and it doesn't take a bite out of your sales with costly fees. It's the choice of all concept food service businesses across the country. PDQ POS is real-time analytics with insights to elevate your team and your play calling. PDQ POS has been rated the #1 point of sale by restaurant owners for more than 35 years, so don't wait. Make the switch to PDQ POS today. Visit PDQPOS.com.
You can now tune in to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
It's Don Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right. Yeah, we want to know who this is covering the police's every breath you take. Let's take a quick listen once more. All right, want to know who this is. First up on the board, we got G. G, who is singing today's Money Melody?
Robert Downey Jr.
That's it on.
Yes!
Right.
It doesn't sound like him, though, does it?
It's hard to say. I feel like it kind of does, but like he's got a lot like more soothing singing voice than I thought he would.
Yeah, at first I was like, wait, which one's Sting and which one's Robert Downey? Like, I didn't, totally blew my mind.
Yeah, Sting comes in second there, and then it's like, oh, I guess, yeah, they kind of do sound similar.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. But yeah, no, Robert Downey Jr. is the correct answer. Congrats to G. She is going home with that book.
Congratulations. All right. That's great. Totally caught me off guard. Didn't get that one, but I got it right. I finally got one right because I'm very good. I'm very bad with like the movie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Men win all that because men have a special space in their brain for information from a movie that they saw, 15 years ago, and that they can remember. But picking up tomatoes from the grocery store on the way home, that's gone. That's not in there at all.
You're preaching the choir.
Yeah, it's because it's only what matters to them. Like that they'll remember, and movies matter to men, which is fine. I can think of worse things. So, all right. Just one last thing here. Just talking about the Democrats. I want to know from you, 855-839-1210, do they allow the communists to take over their party? Or excuse me, the socialists. Are they going to allow that to happen? 855-839-1210, or you can just leave a comment for me on X at Mary Walter Radio, because Democrats seem to be choosing sides, and a lot of them aren't choosing a side because they're cowards. They're too cowardly. They're not choosing a side at all. So one guy who chooses a side, and it fascinates me. What is happening? It's the world turned upside down. It just goes to show that left is right, and right is left, and up and down, and nothing is what it seems. Because I'm convinced 90% of what we see coming up from politics is all just a play. It's all it is. It's just a play, and people are playing their scripted roles. And whoever wrote this part of the script, it was genius. But let's go to cut 7 and listen to this guy. I think you know who it is.
But there's people like Chevalier that she just got elected. She wants to abolish ICE, police, the border, and prisons. All these outrageous kinds of things. Now that's not even unserious. Like, how can people just ignore these kinds of things? And now they want to send someone here to Congress that wants to abolish prisons, and now would wipe her mouth on the American flag.
Now, what's interesting about that is, did you know, fun fact, Congress does not have to seat a congressperson. They don't have to. That can be challenged. Now, it would be interesting to have that challenged and see which Democrats vote for her. Who runs an organization, her social activism, is a group that wants to destroy Western civilization. I would love to see how many Democrats would have the guts to vote. I think a lot of them would be no votes, or they just would abstain from voting, no vote. And Republicans would vote against it. I would hope. And I'd love to see the Republicans that don't vote against it. I want to see it. I would love to see this put up to a vote. And it may happen because whoever's writing this play has got a lot of twists and turns in it. This is almost as good as 90 Day Fiancé. It's almost as if like 90 Day Fiancé meshed with the Real Housewives of New Jersey, which it almost did because Dolores Catania is dating a guy from, or maybe I think she's married to now, a guy from Ireland. So it's almost like if that had a baby, mashed together and had a baby. That's what, you can't write this stuff. You can't make it up because it's just so insane. All right, last one. Senator Raphael Warnock, who is a fantastic escape artist. He is very good at just not answering the question, which is how I think most Democrats are going to go. They're going to see where the wind blows, and that's the direction in which they're going to go, just like this guy here. Cuddy.
What do you think the future of the party is? Is it the Democratic Socialists of America who won in New York last night?
We are a big tent party. That's who we are.
That was it. So he didn't answer. He just said, well, we're a big tent. So he implied, like, well, there's room for everybody in our tent. Really? Because I'm curious how the LGBTQ part of the tent is going to mesh with the part of the tent that supports Palestinians and Muslims who hate the LGBTQ part of the tent. Now we'll all get along. You're not going to all get along. This is going to be like one of those family reunions that goes horribly awry. And you know, hands are being thrown. Or in the Walmart where somebody steals something and doesn't want the cops to know, so she just starts pitching a fit and wigs come off and you know, things, flip-flops are flying all over and, you know, the whole thing happens. Because it ain't going to be pretty. It's going to be a fight inside that big tent. But he doesn't have the guts to say it. Cowards. They're all cowards. 855-839-1210 is my number. We'll talk some more coming up right after this on 1210 WPHT.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers. And on the sidelines, we cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
D&K Appliances is a family-owned and operated business for 3 generations located in Newtown Square and Flowertown. D&K Appliances offers one-stop shopping, providing delivery, installation, and service of top brands like GE, Thermador, Wolf, Bosch, Speed Queen, KitchenAid, and Whirlpool for your kitchen or laundry. D&K Appliance sales associates are industry experts, supporting customers every step of the way. Visit D&K Appliances, the dependable difference. Newtown Square and Flowertown showrooms, or visit DKAppliances.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here as we celebrate America's 250th birthday. What a great reminder that this nation was built by hardworking people, entrepreneurs, and local family businesses that serve their communities every day. That's one of the reasons I've enjoyed working with Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding. They're a local family-owned company helping homeowners throughout our region improve and protect their homes for years. When you work with Chapman, you're supporting a local business that stands behind its work and truly cares about its customers. To celebrate our nation's 250th anniversary, Chapman is offering $250 off new red, white, or blue entry doors through July 4th. What a fun way to add some patriotic style to your home while improving curb appeal and security. So visit ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Searching for a new path to wellness? Dr. Molly Fantasia explains how medical hydration therapy can help you reclaim your energy. Listen to Health Watch, Sunday mornings at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Weather sponsored by H&K Group Incorporated.
Partly sunny conditions continue through the afternoon. It'll be hot but not humid with a high of around 87. For tonight, becoming more humid, partly cloudy. There will be a chance for a shower overnight with a low 70 for the city, a bit cooler in the suburbs. And then for Friday, partly sunny. It'll be humid with a high again around 87.
Start your new career with H&K Group Incorporated. H&K Group wants to offer you the opportunity to be part of the industry leader. 80 locations across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Visit hkgroup.com and apply today. H&K is an equal opportunity employer.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Welcome back. 855-839-1210. Or hit me up with a post on X. Just tag me at Mary Walter Radio. Real quickly before I get to the phone here, I just have to share this with you. Oh, darn it. Where'd it go? Hold on. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. So Seattle, which is hosting some World Cup games, their host committee has designated the upcoming game between Iran and Egypt a pride match because it's happening during Pride Month. But Iran wants FIFA to prevent any ceremonies or promotional activities in support of the LGBTQ community in Seattle. We're just talking about... See, eventually, now we're going to see who wins. Does the Pride community win? Or does the Muslim community climb to the top of the victimhood pyramid that the left has set up and kicks off the LGBTQ alphabet community? Love this so much. I love it. Can't write this stuff, I'm telling you. All right, let's go to Robert from Ben Salem. Robert, welcome. Happy Thursday.
Hey, Mary, it's good to talk to you. I'm really enjoying you filling in for Dom. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
I was thinking about what this election up in New York was saying, and we always knew that this party was going socialist for the last 20 years. But it is interesting to see guys like Goldman and a lot of them now being replaced by Frankenstein monsters that they created, okay? The Democrat demise was brought on by themselves in pursuit of energy and votes, and I hope it blows up in their faces. But what I'm looking for, because I don't think it's going to change the midterms at all. In fact, I think it gives the Republicans another edge, having these wackadoos become the face of the Democratic Party. But I don't anticipate a big change until 2028. When they have that DNC convention, I cannot wait to see what the so-called 600 superdelegates do, because they're the ones that have been shutting out the socialists for the last 3 election cycles. And I have a feeling either they're going to, as you say, become cowards and give in to the Democratic Socialists, or you're going to see the biggest chaos in the Democratic convention since the 60s. And I can't wait to see that. I'm as looking forward to seeing that as I am to actually watching this soccer match in Seattle on Friday.
I think what they're going to do is they'll probably compromise, and they just won't allow the referee to wear their rainbow tutus.
Oh, are we talking about the DNC or the soccer match?
Good question. That is an excellent thought, though, in all seriousness. I didn't think about the DNC convention, which is usually, just in and of itself incredibly interesting. But they will the DNC has shown us that they don't care how their voters vote. They will choose who the candidate is. And the big dummies on the left are more than happy with that. They just let it go along. They scream about threats to democracy. And then when someone when someone subverts their vote and steals their vote or nullifies their vote, they stand there and applaud like a bunch of dopey seals.
Well, it kept Bernie Sanders out, and it just strikes me as so ironic that these super delegates are, quote, more equal than the other delegates. I mean, it's right out of Animal Farm, and it's just hilarious to watch the clown show proceed. And I think it's going to benefit the country as the Democrats slow. Let me tell you something, Mary. If we had an honest media, the Democratic Party wouldn't get 30% of the vote today. You know what I mean? And I think that their house of cards is about to fall. Fingers crossed. You know what I mean?
Well, Robert, I hope you're right. I really do. Because if it doesn't, we're in big trouble. And I just don't know. I'm trying to calculate it out. I just don't know if I'm going to be dead by the time it all hits the fan. And I'm beginning to worry. I'm beginning to worry that I may still be alive and they're going to kill the old people first.
Well, I don't think it's going to come to that because maybe I'm corny, but I think that sanity and American values will win in the end. And this is just, I mean, look at history. How many millions, hundreds of millions of people have socialism and communism killed with just their policies over the last 100 years, you know? And we have to get that word out, man. The school did a number on the kids, and but I don't want to take too much time. I really appreciate it, Mary.
All right. Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate you, too. Unfortunately, it usually takes like a generation to clean it out of the system, a generation or two, so the kids can listen to grandma tell them, you know what we used to have, and they start to get smart. Martin from Abingdon, you are on the Dom Giordano show on this Thursday.
Hello,
how are you, How are you, Martin?
I'm well, but I have to tell you, I think you've got it wrong. I'm a Tea Party conservative. It's a very simple thing. We have been doing an awful job. We put a man in charge who I think is a malignant narcissist and is mentally ill, and the country sees that. You can go all day long banging against the Democrats, and you're right, but you should be doing double time on our own team because we are harder by 10 times on our own people we put in charge than people that we love. So when our president stands up and says, by the end of the day, I'll kill 90 million people, that's why they're going to vote against this. Don't say they're dumb for doing
when did President Trump say he was going to kill? When did he say he was going to kill 90 million people?
He said by the end of the day, the Iranian civilization will be gone. And now, listen,
if their leadership takes the war, kind of like what happened with the Germans in World War II, their leadership took them to war, and they lost tens of hundreds of thousands of people.
That. You don't say that. You never say it. I don't say to you.
So you just don't say it, and it's okay.
If anyone says to you, by the end of the day, your family will be gone because I don't like what you're doing, what do? You call the police, you remove them. If a president says it, we call the police and we remove them. It's insanity. Even in World War II, they didn't say that about the Japanese. Even when they dropped the nuclear bomb, they said, please don't make us do it again. That's not what he said. And I'm not going to argue it. I'm not going to argue the 5 million people in Africa that will die because we pulled our AIDS medications at no cost to this country. I'm not going to argue the 175 children we killed in Iran that we still have to pay for. We still have to pay for that. And I don't know how you pay it down. But I will tell you this, the country feels that they see it, and in the end, they do something very simple. They vote the other way, and it's just a pendulum swinging. You can get the craziest guy in the world, just like I think Trump was. The Democrats stood up and said, we're putting a guy in charge that has Alzheimer's, and you're going to like it. And 1.5% of the people didn't like it. And the same thing's going to happen this time. Accept it.
Well, I'm looking at the exact. I'm actually concerned about facts, and I'm actually looking at the exact text of President Trump's speech, where he said.
I have. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at the exact text. You sound busy. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to go into this exact text, Martin. Thank you so much, because when you just take a part of it and you just kind of like wing it and say, well, this is basically what he said. And if someone said this to me, he said, for 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They've been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate in particular. All true. So many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to create the Great American Patriots. Hopefully, the Patriots will no longer need their services in this capacity. With all that being said, this cannot continue. There will either be peace or there will be tragedy for Iran, far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight was the most difficult of them all by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world. I just want to thank everybody. Particularly, I want to say God bless you. God. Yeah, I looked for where Trump talked about we're going to wipe them out. That's what it says. So unless there's another speech that I'm not seeing, it was, I put in Trump exact quote on Iran deaths. What am I missing? Every time AP... They're all bringing it up. That is the transcript of what he said. So where did he say, I'm going to kill, tens of thousands? Am I missing something, guys? I know I'm asking you guys to look something up, but am I missing something?
I don't think so. No, spot on.
Iranians. Yeah, I mean, that's what it said. He threatened to blow the blank out of them a couple of days ago. Threatened to seize the Strait of Hormuz and blow the blank out of them. But he's talking about, here, you won't even make it back to your country. He told Iran's leaders, you close it, you won't have a country. We may make it over the strait. If we have to, I'll blow the blank out of them. But I don't see where he went and told them, I'm going to kill, hundreds of thousands of your people. I just don't see it.
I think he just took a piece of that and just basically ran with it and just thinking it's like, it's not even close to correct.
And that's a danger. And I will have a conversation. And he's right. Both sides, nobody's perfect. I don't know perfect human beings. So, of course, you're not going to have perfect politicians, right? I'm not perfect. No one is perfect. Right? I do things and then like a couple days later, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Right? So, nobody's perfect. Great. Both sides, not perfect. But don't say Trump threatened to kill, 119,000 Iranian people and, and not think that think that he's not insane. Well, because I got to know if he said it. So we can have a conversation, but you have to come with facts, not just, I think this is what he said and just kind of like wing it. All right. Thank you. Coming up, we're going to get a little bit into Bill Cassidy, a big fight that happened yesterday, and it all worked out in the end, which makes me happy. So yeah, that's next on 1210 WPHT.
Hit the road this season to watch the Birds. Book your road trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are available now for Nashville, Arizona, Chicago, and London. Travel in style with transportation, a pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the Birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly. The official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a PH of Philly.com.
The working families of La Una Labor's District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor's District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
Babbel proudly presents The Bookstore Bungle.
Librairie means library in French, right?
Yeah, obviously.
I just love a library.
The French are so loud, though.
Yeah. Hey, be quiet. This is a library. S'il vous plaît.
Ce n'est pas une bibliothèque.
Bibliothèque? I think that's Spanish, ma'am.
You are in a bookstore, not a library. Oh.
No more bookstore bungles with Babbel.
Touriste.
Learn to speak like a local and act like one too. Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to get up to 50% off. Babbel.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, Hatboro. Tell your smart speaker deployed. 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
And we're back. It's Thursday, and tomorrow's Friday. That's why Thursday is my favorite day of the week. You can have a different favorite day. That's fine. But I don't mind sharing Thursday. Let's go to Mike from Pittman calling on 855-839-1210. Mike, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you, too. Hey,
Thank
Mary,
you.
You're doing a great job filling in.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
With regards to the 90 million people, the storage islands in Iran, and he talked about the bridges, blowing them up next, and he didn't want to affect the 90 million people. But he said, I'll annihilate you, and he doesn't want to, mess with the citizenship at hand.
Well,
So
I don't
that's what
think I just don't think like any leader wants to do that, right? You don't want to have to kill the innocent civilians because he wants them to. They're the ones who started this. They're the ones who have been asking for freedom and have been begging for the Ayatollahs to be taken away from them. And they want and they killed 40,000 of their own just for protesting. They hung them. They shot them, right? And we want that to stop. But I think you're right. The Karg Island, where the storage facilities are, he doesn't want to blow those up because there's oil there that they can sell. And the infrastructure, if the people are going to rebuild, they need that infrastructure. So, the right thing is to try to not have that destroyed. Not like what we did in World War II. And maybe we have to do that again. And nobody wants to do that, but we may have to do that.
I think that's why Trump's dragging it out, too. Giving them all the possible outs. So this way here, when he does go in and slap them around, it's going to be, with prudent patience.
Well, he's got to hurry up because midterms are coming. And he's got that.
You get into the politics now. We're talking war here. You can't
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And definitely can't let Congress do anything about it. First of all, they take too long. Second of all, half of them are knuckleheads. So,
yeah. Well, and the other part, and Mike, thank you so much for your call. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. The other part of it is too, though, is the Ayatollahs and Iran. They are they're like a toddler who doesn't want to go to bed. They can drag their feet. They're going to ask for 18 glasses of water. Tell me a story. I need not that story. I need a better one. They're going to think of any excuse not to get to the point because they've done that with past administrations and it's worked for them. And they know if they can drag it out long enough, it will hurt Trump in the midterms. They want Democrats back in power so they can just get pallets of cash and let them do whatever they want, and that's what they want. So they're also dragging it out as well. We got Gary from Vineland. Welcome to the Dom Giordano Show. Hi, Gary.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
I'm just calling to compliment you on the way you handle yourself. It's a pleasure to listen to you. And when somebody disagrees with you, you don't jump down their throat. You listen, and I have to give you a lot of credit. And like I said, It's a pleasure to listen to you, and
Aw.
I hope you're on the air more than now. And God bless you, and have a great day.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. God bless you too. I really, really appreciate that. Have a wonderful weekend. Drive carefully. See, here's the thing. Both right and left, I think, live in an information bubble because it's comfortable. We want to hear our own opinions that go back to us because it makes us feel smart, right? So we live in an information bubble, but you don't grow if you don't have some kind of resistance, right? You learn from mistakes. You learn from new ideas. So I'm okay with people just disagreeing with me. I'm okay with that. Like I said, I make mistakes. I'm not always right. I do things and then wonder what the hell was I thinking all the time. Happens all the time. Like my schedule over the next week, I said yes to all of these things. And now I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? You know, from tonight to tomorrow morning, I'm probably going to get like 3 hours of sleep. So I'm like, why? Why did I do that? But I did. So when I get up in the morning, I'll tell you what I do. I watch in the order that they're on my provider. I watch News Nation. Then I go to CNN. Then I go to, News Nation, Fox, CNN, MS Now, and Newsmax. I watch all 5 of them just to see what the stories are and get the feel of how other people are seeing things and how other people are presenting things. It's super important to get out of your information bubble. Let people in. You know what? It makes you smarter and it hones your debate skills and your engagement skills. And you don't wind up like a liberal who only just calls you names and tells you you're a big poopy head and then blocks you. You actually come across as someone who's older than 8 years old, which very few of them actually do. They just don't. You know what? We don't really have a lot of time for the shouting match. Speaking of being able to engage, so President Trump, right? So here's what happened really quickly. Before this big meeting with Senate Republicans that Trump had yesterday, Trump canceled a planned signing of the 21st Century Road to Housing bill, bipartisan. It's supposed to make housing more affordable. And more affordable just means that they're just going to plow over more stuff and build on it, all right? Which I don't understand. Why don't you learn how to rehab homes? There's a lot of older homes out there, perfectly good, probably built better than the ones you're building now, but we just bash and build. That's a topic for another day. So the bill could become law, though, in 10 days, maybe a little bit longer, depending on who does what. It could still become law. All right. So he says, I'm not signing. So then he goes to lunch, to the Senate lunch yesterday. He invited himself, which apparently the president can do. And he got into it with Senator Bill Cassidy. Now, he got into it with Cassidy. Cassidy lost his reelection because Trump backed his opponent in Louisiana. So Cassidy lost reelection. And they got into a shouting match. Cassidy later said that the talks went swimmingly because somebody who's inside ran to the press and told him. And he called the president my brother several times during the heated exchange. And Senate GOP sources said the president said that Cassidy's not his brother and told him to sit down. And so he said, I matched his tone and his volume, and it went back and forth. I sat down. I tried to de-escalate. But my point is that the American people need to know more than we're being told. The Senate needs to know. We had a really great meeting. We're proud of the party. So why is all of this important? Because Trump wants the SAVE Act passed. He said, I'm not signing anything till you pass the SAVE Act. So in the meantime, a group of House Republicans has effectively threatened to keep the floor of the lower chamber shut down. All right, so it worked out well because they went back because Trump was mad that they voted to curb his war powers. So after the lunch, they went back and a couple of them Republicans changed their votes, and that is now no longer a thing. That got shot down. So that's where the good part is. Now, in the meantime, because they want the SAVE Act, a group of House Republicans is threatening to keep the floor of the House shut until there's a pathway to get the Save America Act through the Senate. And there are a couple of different ways they could do it, but Thune doesn't want to do any of them. And I know that was super fast, but I wanted to get it in there so you know about what's going on, and because you probably heard about the big shouting match. And no tables were flipped over. All right, I'm Mary Walter. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Kirk. I'll see you guys tomorrow here on 1210 WPHT.
Sun's out and the summer's in full swing. Kitchen Magic wants to help you fall back in love with your kitchen. We've been a family-owned business right